Gallo swings and smacks one deep, and that ball is history. And shot toward the foul pole. It is history. A two-run homer for Joey Gallo.
He's blessed with insane long ball power.
Most of the time, you don't feel it off the bat.
This ball hammered. Gone!
Off the barrel, you got a good one.
The swing. The trot.
And that one is way gone.
The agony. Joey Gallo's physical prowess is reaching legendary status. Tonight, he'll look to grow his legend versus the boys from Beantown.
And we've got some great home run hitters for you in this series. Joey Gallo, indeed, one of them, leading the way for the Rangers. Mookie Betts, the leadoff man for the Red Sox, off to an incredible start. You can see some of the best long ball hitters in the game featured in this series. It starts tonight. Welcome in, everybody. Going to be fun. The Red Sox here for 4, and the Rangers just happy to be home. It was a great road trip. They split 6 games on the road. In Toronto, at Cleveland, they scored 32 runs. They hit 13 home runs on that roadie. Their reward? The Boston Red Sox, a team that is off to the best start right now in baseball. They lost their opener, won 17 of their next 18 games, off to the best record so far. How've they done it? Great balance. Got the best run differential in the game. That's because they score a lot, just shy of 6 runs per game. And the pitching has been very good. A 340 earned run average, 6th best in baseball. Well, great to have you with us. I'm Dave Raymond with Tom Grieve. And look, when we talk about these two teams, Tom, we're going to focus on the long ball today. Why don't you start off with Mookie Betts?
Well, Mookie Betts is only 25 years old. He already has 3 excellent seasons under his belt. He may be on his way to his best season in his 4th full season. He already has 2 games in which he's hit 3 home runs. First player ever with 4 3-home run games who's 25 or under. He leads the major leagues in slugging percentage, OPS, among other things. And by the way, those home runs aren't going into the front row either. Those are long balls. From the Rangers' point of view, they have a pretty good power hitter of their own in Joey Gallo. In his first full season last year, he had 41 home runs. That was 3rd in the American League. If you go back to last year and count this year, his 51 home runs, 3rd in the major leagues. He hits them at a pretty good rate, 1 every 11.2 at bats. That's 4th in the major leagues over that same period of time. 2 fun players to watch, a lot of other good players to watch as well.
Well, when it expect home runs, the guys charged with trying to slow them down. Our starting pitchers tonight, David Price and Mike Minor. Put them in the spotlight when we come back. Rangers baseball is sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. It's a beautiful night. Yeah, rain earlier this afternoon, but it's cleared up. A little breeze this evening. Temperatures up in the upper 70s. And we're ready for baseball. The opener for the Rangers and the Red Sox, the first of four. We were talking about it before the break. But our Shiner Box spotlight tonight going to be on these starting pitchers, and we'll start with David Price.
Yeah, let's look at what both pitchers have done at Globe Life Park. Now, obviously, David Price has been one of the top left-handers in baseball, but he hasn't fared all that well in this ballpark. He does have a winning record, but his ERA is about 6.5, and opponents have hit almost .330 against him, opponents being the Texas Rangers in this ballpark. Got off to a great start this year with 2 shutout outings, but he's been struggling a little bit later. Mike Minor, coming off a season in which he was an outstanding reliever in Kansas City, transitioning back to being a starter, has pitched well at home. 2.25 ERA, a 200 opponents batting average, and a nice strikeout to walk ratio of 18-5. So a good matchup, 2 good lefties. Mike Minor for the Rangers has pitched well in a brief time here in this ballpark. David Price, over his career, has had a great career, but hasn't pitched very well in this ballpark.
You know, on the one hand, Tom, you'd think, well, that's great for Mike, right? He's going to be facing quite the offense tonight, the Boston Red Sox. But don't forget, his first start of the year was against the defending world champ Houston Astros, and you have to add that into the numbers. So the numbers have been good here and against good competition. And so Minor tonight to try and carry the load on the mound. The young guys really have been carrying the load in the offense and defensively, and they're spread all over the diamond right now for the Rangers, and that was a topic of conversation today for Jeff Bannister. We check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, you know, this season has not started obviously the way this Rangers team would have liked, but there have been some bright spots mixed in with all the injuries and all the other things that have gone wrong for this team, and one of those is the development of these young guys like Ronald Guzman, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and not just those guys' development, but the younger guys that are just above them in age and experience, and how they've received them, how they've treated them, how they've welcomed them into the major league fold, to where these guys feel comfortable. They don't feel like there's this awkward transition of being a rookie and getting your major league feet wet. And so not just seeing those young guys perform, but also seeing the way that second tier of maybe a little bit more experienced guys and the way that they've handled being in this role and how they've treated those guys and aided in that transition has been a huge bright spot for this Rangers team, and also helped Jeff Bannister significantly when you talk about helping those guys transition from the minor leagues to the big leagues.
Yeah, I think it's a good point, Emily, and you know, we see it every night, whether it's Joey Gallo, Jurickson, Profar. I guess it's part of the fun, Tom, is that on any given night, look, if somebody steps up and really comes through for this Rangers team, well, odds are pretty high it's going to be one of the young guys, because outside of Shin-Soo Choo, maybe Robinson Chirinos, you're not talking about a ton of experience in this lineup.
No, and one thing that people have probably noticed over the first 30-plus games of the season is one of the go-to guys after a ball game when you're trying to talk to somebody about the ball game, about the team, has been Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo's only in his second full season, yet Joey's looked at right now, I think, as one of the veterans on the team. So it really does speak to the youth that's involved in this Ranger lineup right now.
Yeah, we started this whole thing off talking about power, and I mentioned at the top, 13 home runs on that 6-game road trip. This team has played better on the road than they have at home. And 2 of the young guys, Nomar Mazara and that guy Joey Gallo, both homered in each of their last 2 games. So you get the feeling maybe things starting to click a little bit for these guys.
Well, there's nothing prettier in the American League than that home run swing by Joey Gallo. And when he takes that swing and the ball goes 2 or 3 rows back, what that tells you is he didn't hit it as well as he can hit it. When they go over the popcorn wagon here or into the upper deck, those are the ones that he hits on the barrel of the bat. And the same thing with Nomar. Nomar hasn't hit as many home runs as Joey Gallo, but he's launched 2 or 3 that have gone way over 450 feet. One in this ballpark went 470 plus feet. So while the overall home run numbers might not have been there so far for Mazara, when you see the contact he makes and where he's hit some of these home runs, it leads you to believe, Dave, over time that the amount of home runs he hits could increase dramatically. That's to be seen down the road, but it's not like he's hitting his home runs 325 feet. He's launched a couple of these that shows the power is there.
Yeah, we already know his ability to use the whole field. That's been one of the hallmarks of Nomar Mazara's really young career. The other part has been, especially this year and going back into last year, his ability to hit left-handers, which has shown continued improvement for him. So many bright spots right now for the young guys. We had a little bit of a delay before the ball game today, a field issue. I think where the hose plugs in back behind the mound today. They had a little trouble back there, but everything fine, and we're close to getting this one started tonight. And I would say, all things considered, Tom, especially when we were leaving Cleveland yesterday, looking at the weather forecast, like, oh, we could be in for some delays on this homestand with rain, but fortunately it passed through earlier today.
Yeah, the timing of the rain has been perfect this morning, and by the looks of it, there's a good chance it's going to rain again tomorrow. But there's also a great chance that it's going to be out of here in plenty of time for the ball game to start. So you can always use the rain in Texas. You'll never turn that down, and it's nice that it's coincided with our game times, so there's been no disruption.
Well, we talk about the left-handed starting pitchers today. Mike Minor for the Rangers as he continues to show his gradual strength and improvement. This will be his 6th start of the year, a 2-1 record, a .433 earned run average, and he's done some of his best work in this ballpark. And today will be another really good test for him, maybe a little benchmark of where he is. And keep in mind too, and we'll talk about this more as we move on today, but Minor and where he is in this rotation, we've been able to give him a little extra rest with each turn. Right now the Rangers are with 5 starters, and he may have to go on regular 4 days rest on his next turn after this one tonight. And so we'll see how that goes for him, and if and what the Rangers may do to continue to massage that situation. He told me the other day, though, he says, look, man, I'm ready to go to the 5-man. That's not an issue.
I would look at it that way too, Dave. The good thing is he's had a spring training under his belt, and this transition to a 4-day rotate, four days off rotation, 5-man rotation, didn't start at the beginning of the season. He's already had 5 starts, 27 innings in addition to spring training. So I think he's perfectly prepared to settle into a 5-man rotation. And you go back to his season in 2013 with the Atlanta, he threw 205 innings that season. So he's done that before. And I think he's had plenty of time to transition into this new amount of rest that he seems to be on the verge of having the next few times out. I don't think that'll be a problem for him at all.
He's pitched awfully well. Now today, again, a big test as he will face these Red Sox, 22-8 overall. And looking at their lineup, it starts with Mookie Betts, and you got to be ready at jump, because he is. Hanley Ramirez will bat second at first base. JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, and Rafael Devers, the third baseman. And it's Eduardo Nunez, Blake Swihart tonight. Christian Vasquez does the catching, and Jackie Bradley Jr. in center field. Really nice lineup, very productive lineup so far for Boston. They have a 2-game lead over the Yankees currently in the American League East, but for all the great numbers for Boston, I suppose it's worth pointing out they are 5-6 in their last 11 games, so have come back down to earth just a little bit. Mookie Betts swinging at the first pitch, and he lofts it out to short left field. Ryan Rua puts it away. 1 pitch, 1 out tonight.
Take a look at the pitch arsenal for Mike Minor. He'll throw his fastball less than 50% of the time. Throws a lot of sliders, almost 30% of the time. Has a good changeup and a curveball. All 4 traditional pitches. Doesn't favor the fastball 50 or 60% of the time. Mixes in all the other pitches. So if you're a hitter, you have 4 different pitches to worry about, and he throws each one of them quite a bit.
Ground ball, third base. Playable for Renato Nunez. 2 pitches, 2 outs, so he's staying right on pace.
Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered by Chicken Express. Ryan Rua, Delino DeShields, Nomar Mazara in the outfield. Ryan getting the start against the lefty. Renato Nunez against David Price will play third base. Jurickson Profar at shortstop. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa will play second base. He's played short and third as well. Joey Gallows at first, and Robinson Chirino is behind the plate.
All right, and now JD Martinez, and he takes ball 1. Now that one was well out of the zone, Tom, but as a hitter, is that a must-take spot?
I've never totally understood why, but yeah, that's one of the things that as a hitter, if you come up to bat with 2 outs and 2 pitches, you're expected to take that next pitch. But I've always looked at it this way. Didn't happen on that particular pitch. The pitcher knows that, right?
Exactly.
So he's going to groove one. Why would you take one right down the middle?
agree.
Why don't you take advantage of it?
I agree. I almost feel like there's never a must-take spot anymore. 2-0 and a pop-up.
That's a pretty good start.
Yes, it is. Mazzara is there. Inning is done. Only 5 pitches needed. So Mike Minor makes it look easy in the top of the first. And they'll lead it off tonight with Delano DeShields in center field. Shin-Soo Choo, the DH. Isaiah Kiner Falefa, Nomar Mazzara, Joey Gallo in the middle of things. Profar, Nunez, Chirinos catching, and Ryan Rua in left field has the start batting ninth. They'll see David Price, his 7th start of the year. A tall left-hander, 2 wins, 3 losses, and he puts that one right in there for strike 1. Price has pitched to a 3.78 ERA this year. He's allowed 4 home runs, though, in 33+ innings. And he fires that one right in there at 92 miles per hour. It's 0-2 on DeShields. Delano working on a 6-game hitting streak, currently tied for the longest of the year for any Rangers hitter. The other Rangers hitter to accomplish the feat, Ryan Rua, and he had that one come to an end yesterday in a pinch hit appearance. Price, a little bit fussy out there sometimes. Adjust the jersey, tug on the cap, and it can take him a little while every now and then between pitches. He's something to watch because he's almost, you'd almost think he's unaware that anybody else is engaged in the game. Right? It's just got to get himself set. 2-2.
Price throws a lot of fastballs. If you're a hitter, you're going to get fastballs to hit pretty much every at bat. Mix in other pitches, but he comes right at you with a fastball. He's had some big years. I think you go back to his time with Tampa Bay and maybe some of the time with Toronto, Detroit. He was a guy that threw 94 to 96 miles an hour. And I think there'll be times where he throws the ball that hard, but he probably dropped off 2 to 3, 4 miles an hour from his heyday as far as velocity goes.
This is now his 3rd year with the Red Sox after signing that gigantic $217 million deal which has an opt-out after this year, which will be interesting. 2-2, and DeShields swings and misses. So a strikeout gets us started in the bottom of the first.
Looked like a cut fastball. You can see the grip, and it comes back toward the outside part of the plate. Maybe not quite as far back as Delino anticipated it might. Stays up. Wasn't able to make contact with that pitch.
So first strikeout of the night for Price, is 29th this year. And he'll go after Chu. And Chu wastes no time, goes after the first pitch. That one sent foul out of play.
We're talking about David Price's fastball and how often he likes to use it. Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal. 61% of the time he'll throw that fastball. Changeup has gotten to be a better pitch for him over the years. The cutter, 13% of the time, was the pitch that Delino missed for strike 3. He'll throw some curveballs, not many changeups.
Oh, and 1 on Chu. Gonna look at those Air Jordans that Price is rocking tonight. Yeah, those are different look.
I think I remember the game way back when Sandy Koufax was pitching in the World Series with shoes that looked
high tops like that.
Remember that?
Those were Chuck Taylor's. The original Air Jordan, Chuck Taylor, the 1-1. And that one high, 2-1 to Chu. Now Chu has fallen into a bit of a groove lately. Last 15 games now, he's hitting .304 during that stretch. He went on a little home run binge there for a bit, but that has slowed down lately. The pitch from Price catches a corner. It's 2-2. Chu has not homered in the last 12 games in which he has played.
Price signed a huge contract as a free agent with the Red Sox. And while he's pitched well for the Red Sox, I think in the minds of the fans and the eyes of the fans, he hasn't quite lived up to that contract. Although very few teams would not enjoy having David Price in the rotation.
Chu rolls out to third, 2 away. Well, he's a very talented guy, obviously. Last year lost a lot to injury, and that was a disappointment for him. It was a disappointment for the fans, and I don't think there's any disguising it. I mean, he's had some contentious moments with the local media, even with personnel in and around the ball club. So it hasn't been the smoothest relationship for him in Boston. But if he's healthy and pitching well, I'm sure that will help make things feel a lot better for everybody. And he finds the strike zone to Kiner Falefa. Pretty impressive numbers for the rookie. 278 average in his 20 games played so far. One and one. So Tom, I was talking to Kiner Falefa yesterday about this, the transition from the minor leagues to the big leagues, that preparation that you get in the minor leagues and how it feels. And boy, very thoughtful, very intelligent answers to any question you ask the guy. But I asked him, how do you've never faced David Price. How do you prepare for that? And we'll tell you later, because this one out to center field and handled nicely by Bradley. So the inning is done. So a couple of 1, 2, 3 halves of the first inning. We go to the second. great night to be here. 77 degrees at game time. First pitch to Bogaerts, and that one finds the inside corner for a strike. We saw great weather the last couple of days in Cleveland. Maybe a little sense that the weather's going to warm up some. 0-2.
Nice combination of pitches right there to Bogaerts, one of the hottest hitters in the league. Nice fastball at 93, nice changeup at 85. Had Bogaerts way out in front of it.
Hits this ball sharply on the ground and into center field. So Bogaerts is on, and he's going to hustle for two. Here comes the throw, and it's not in time. And there's that heads-up base running and some of the aggressiveness we see on occasion from Boston. Bogaerts taking a single and making it a double.
Bogaerts is an excellent two-strike hitter. With a count 0-2, this pitch is supposed to be high. You can see Chirinos almost standing up, and Mike delivers the pitch high. Bogaerts hit it anyway. Sometimes you can have a plan. You can actually execute the pitch the way you want it to. But when you've got a guy like Bogaerts who's hitting close to 370 at the plate, there's no guarantee he's not going to hit it anyway.
So he's in scoring position for Devers, and it is taken low. Rafael Devers, third baseman, and one of the really radiant young stars in the game. He's 21 years old, and he swings and misses. It's 1-1. Devers signed as a 16-year-old kid out of the Dominican. That was in August of 2013. Made his big league debut last summer and was the youngest in all of baseball at the time. It's always a story when you're the youngest player in the game. That one is outside, 2-1 the count. But then he became the first player in Major League history to hit 8 home runs in his first 20 Major League games under the age of 21. So a just breakneck pace for Devers in his rookie season. 2-2 the count.
Well, the Red Sox have one of the highest payrolls in baseball, which would tell you they have a lot of high-priced veteran players on their team, which they do. They also have a nice mixture of younger players. When you look at Andrew Benintendi, early 20s, as a high draft choice. You look at Devers, Bogaerts, Mookie Betts, only 25 years old. Jackie Bradley, still young. Got a really nice mixture of veteran players and young players. A lot of the dollars they spend goes to their pitching staff. Signed J.D. Martinez to a nice contract as a free agent. He's fit perfectly into the middle of the lineup. You got a nicely balanced team.
And of course, a team that had won the last 2 American League East titles. 93 wins each of the last 2 seasons. It's a 2-2. And this one popped up foul out of play. And yet, after winning the division 2 years in a row and better than 90 wins both times, John Farrell, their manager, was let go. And that man, Alex Cora, was hired in the offseason. And I mean, like, immediately once they let Farrell go. They knew they wanted Cora, went out and got him. And now, I mean, that's a pretty high standard to live up to for a rookie manager. But as you point out, he's got a really nice looking team. 2-2. Minor. This is outside.
Yeah, managers start with all different kinds of teams. But if I were a manager getting my first chance to manage, I'd kind of like to get a chance to be have the Red Sox be my first team. At least this version of the Red Sox. It's not just built for 1 year. Jeff Bannister right now with a lot of young players, hoping that they can develop into winning young players for the future.
8th pitch of the at bat, and it's fouled straight back out of play by Devers. So he and Minor locking horns here.
Rangers not quite at the same stage of development as the Red Sox, but have stated that one of the main goals of this season is the development of their young players. No one expected the young players to get this much playing time in April and May. but because of the injuries, they will. And every night, one of them or two of them or three of them give us something good to talk about. So that's been encouraging.
Strike three called. Devers in a 9-pitch at bat. Ultimately watches strike three, and he's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Mike kept giving him tough pitches. See the two-seam fastball. Perfect on the outside corner right at the knees. Devers was hoping for the call, but not necessarily expecting it. And I think Devers goes back to the bench saying, well, I don't know if that was a strike or not. If it is, and he can throw it there all night long, it's going to be a long night.
So now Eduardo Nunez in a breaking ball. He hammers it out to left center field. That ball hanging up for a while. DeShields able to get there and make the play. Bogarts has to return to second, and they're two away.
That was kind of set up with Delino going after a ball near the wall, just like that one he caught yesterday in Cleveland. One of the better catches we've seen. Ball launched to left center field. Delino playing over and straight away center. With his speed, runs it down near the warning track in front of the 390 sign with no problem. The one he caught yesterday in Cleveland up against the wall, they look good when you're waiting for them and you jump as high as you can, but they're not that hard. All you have to do is jump up and catch it. But when you're running almost full speed and you jump as you're going into the wall and catch it right at the peak of your jump as you smash into the wall, those are hard, and that's what he did.
Yeah, he has been great since coming back off the disabled list, offensively and defensively. Red Sox designated hitter Blake Swihart, and he lifts this one out into medium deep right field. Mazara actually coming on, and he makes the catch, so the inning is done. A leadoff double by Bogarts is left right there. All right, bottom of the second coming. Nomar Mazara will lead it off. Joey Gallo to follow, and then it's Jurickson Profar. No score.
The plays he's made. Terrific athlete. You're going to take a look at some of these plays. That was in Texas, up against the wall to take a home run away. That's a great throw to get a runner at third base. And this is the one yesterday where he goes not full speed, but pretty close to it, as high as he could into the wall to make that play. Just a beautiful play. And you know, Dave, the kind of athlete he is, he's an elite athlete with his speed. He's a football player in high school. There's no reason, as he gets used to playing center field, that we can't see that on a regular basis. Of course, he came up as a second baseman with the Astros, so he's a little bit new to center field, but he's making a lot of progress.
Well, Mazara lines that one out to center field, right to Bradley. A couple of steps to his right, one away. I agree. He's It's been real impressive, and I love just the energy, the edge that he's been playing with since coming back from the injury. A lot of fun to watch.
Yep.
So the one away, it brings up Joey Gallo, and he was the featured man in our open today, and that's because he has 10 home runs already. To go along with his 22 RBIs. Gallo batting 5th today. Great lefty on lefty matchup here, and he swings at the first one and fouls it off. It's homered in back-to-back games. And we tend to forget, I don't know if we forget, we overlook maybe a little bit the fact that Gallo right there with the good young players on this roster, just 24 years old. With the fact that he has now done it for a handful of seasons at the big league level, you kind of forget about how young he is. 2-1 the count. Just like the previous hitter, Nomar Mazara. One out, nobody on here in the second. Now a good hitters count for Gallo, 3-1. Joey's sitting on a 225 batting average to go with the good power numbers. When I mentioned he has the 10 home runs, that's in the first 32 games of the season, one of just 3 Rangers all time. Who can say that? Josh Hamilton and Pete Incaviglia both accomplished the feat. 3-1. He takes a good one there, full count.
Yeah, that's one. 3-1. If you're a hitter, you look for your pitch and your location. In Joey's case, he's probably looking for a fastball on the inside part of the plate. He got a slider instead. So there's no sense swinging at an off-speed pitch you weren't looking for and risk making it out after being slightly fooled. Now with 2 strikes, you have to swing at it, but he'd already seen it once. We look at the direction of Joey's hits. Most of those are in the air. In fact, almost all of them are in the air. And he spreads it around. As an outfield, you play pretty much straight away. A lot of times the center fielder, and that's the case with Jackie Bradley, shades slightly toward left field. Infield, entirely different story. When he hits the ball on the ground, generally he pulls it. And that's not all that unusual. There's a lot of hitters that pull the ball on the ground and hit the ball straight away in the air.
Yeah, and those numbers that we just showed you for these first 32 games of the year are, you know, a fairly big shift from what we've seen in the past with Joey. He's gone to that left side and center field a lot more this year than he had in the previous couple of seasons. 3-2. Whoa, that one got him. Look out. Up and in on Gallo, and he looks like he's okay, but that one always scares you.
That looked like a slider. Might have been a fastball. Let's take another look. Whatever it was, David Price is trying to throw a strike. Now it's a 2-seam fastball. It just rides up and in, and hopefully it glanced off Joey's right arm right above the elbow. Last thing Price is trying to do right there is hit Joey. He might have been trying to throw him in. But Joey reaches first base by the hit by pitch. I think he much would have preferred to have that be ball 4 and get a walk instead of a hit by pitch. I would anyway.
I'm with you. So he's on now for Jurickson Profar. And Profar takes up. Now Jurickson hitless in yesterday's game, struck out a couple of times. But 6 for his last 21 the last 5 games. Let's bump the average just a little bit. And he hits this one out to the alley in right field, but Bradley reaches out and he missed it. And that's a rare one. Gallo with good speed around third. They'll wave him to the plate. He is in, and Profar to third with a triple. Rangers draw first blood tonight. It's 1-0.
The Rangers take advantage of the hit by pitch, and Jurickson Profar continues to swing the bat well against left-handed pitching. That was a problem for him when he wasn't playing regularly, but since he's been playing regularly, that has not been a problem. 8 for his last 12, 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run against left-handed pitching. You almost expected Jackie Bradley to catch this ball, but it just slices away from him to the point where even with that spectacular dive, he wasn't able to catch it. And I think the more Jurickson gets to play every day, the more comfortable he becomes with every facet of his game, and definitely hitting against left-handed pitching.
Now the infield is in with Profar 90 feet away, and Nunez takes a strike. Profar's first triple. 1-0. And Nunez swings and hits this ball hard to left field. Martinez goes back. That one is over his head, but he reaches out to make a great catch of it for the second out of the inning. Profar tags, and he'll score. It's 2-0. And that's a great defensive play by maybe the one guy in the outfield you would not expect it from.
No, J.D. Martinez DHs a lot. Joey Cora has said he will try to get him, Alex Cora, try to get him some playing time in the outfield. So he's not known for his defense. And you get a chance to play left field in this ballpark, and that's a much bigger assignment than left field in Fenway Park because there's way more room out there. But J.D. went after that ball like he knew what he was doing, made a beautiful catch. I didn't think there was any way he was going to get to it. Nice play.
That's funny. You assume Bradley's going to catch anything near him, and he came up to short. And then Martinez, well, that one left the bat. He figured no chance. The old reverse lock theory, right? Here's Robinson Chirinos. 1-0, and he swings right through it. So a 2-0 start for the Rangers. Great way to begin this one against a very good left-handed starter for the Red Sox and David Price. This one hit straight up in the air to that left side out of play.
Price got off to a great start this year. He had 2 7-inning starts where he didn't give up a run. Since that time, though, he has not pitched that well. Pitched about 21 innings and given up 16 earned runs. And doesn't appear, at least early in this game, to be all that sharp today.
A little bit low, and it is 2-2. Boy, that hit batter this inning for Price. And that's one that will no doubt drive him crazy. Lost Gallo on a 3-2 when he plunked him, and now Chirinos fouls that one straight back. Phil Cuzzy, plate umpire, says, I'm all right. 2-2 on Chirinos.
Well, as we've already alluded to, and probably will every game, the theme is the young players, and back to back, Gallo, Profar, Nunez popped 2 runs on the board against the Red Sox and David Price.
That one misses the outside corner, full count.
Now, when we've seen Price at his best, his fastball has been 94 to 96. The cutter has been sharp, and he's pounded it in on the right-hand hitters. And for a time, his changeup was a pretty good pitch for him. But so far in this game, not the same velocity, not the same sharpness of his pitches, although there's a pretty good changeup for strike 3.
Well, second strikeout of the night, and it ends the second inning. But the Rangers play 2, and they have the early lead.
On Sunday, August 5th, the Rangers take on Baltimore at 2:05.
the one hit allowed, but with this last 4 starts, a 2-0 record, 19 strikeouts in 22 1/3 innings, and just 4 walks. So Christian Vasquez, the Red Sox catcher, 8th place hitter, will lead things off. And it's Jackie Bradley, and back up to the top of the order again. And Minor finds the outside corner for a strike. Numbers for Vasquez not too impressive this year, although what he has done against the Rangers in the past would have your attention. 0-2 the count. What a big year last year offensively, though that is not why he has a job. He is an excellent catcher, a very strong arm, and he does a fabulous job of controlling opponents' running games. But last year hit .290 and had a .330 on base, so it was a huge year for him. Count now 1-2. Sandy Leon, his backup, and we've seen Leon deliver some big hits here in the past. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Minor, and there's one away. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's say hi to Dana Larson. That sounds like fun. It's the first pitch to Jackie Bradley Jr. is fouled away.
I don't know if you could say you could see that coming, but in that Cleveland series, Dave, it really appeared that the Cleveland bullpen was overworked, tired, and not all that effective.
1-1 the count. Yeah, that was part of the frustration yesterday. Was you just felt like if you could have kept yesterday's game, you know, somewhat close to the late innings, you might have a pretty good shot. But you're right. Their bullpen very tired right now. Of course, without Andrew Miller, that doesn't help much.
Yeah, in a game like that, you do expect to have a better chance when you can get 4 runs in a game started by Corey Kluber.
Minor's 2-1, and this one tapped foul. And of course, that game today, that wild game in Cleveland with the Blue Jays, that was game 1 of a doubleheader. So when a bullpen's tired and you're going through all that, and then you've got another game the same day, whew, it's gonna be trying times for some of these clubs.
It was like that doubleheader in Baltimore when the Rangers scored 30 runs in the first game of the doubleheader. How do you think they felt?
2-2, and it's popped up, might be playable. Chirinos looks like he may have room, stays with it, and makes the catch. 2 away. Back up to the top of the order now for that man, Mookie Betts, our TXU Energy power player to watch, and for any number of reasons. This guy is right now all everything for this Red Sox team. But how about this? A 3-homer game yesterday, 4th in his career already. That put him past Ted Williams for the most in Red Sox history. And he takes low for a ball.
Yeah, I was watching the highlights of the game where he hit, most recent game where he hit 3, and those balls were going a long way. One of them completely cleared the green monster, went up into the light tower. The last one, though, is on a pitch up and away. It doesn't look like this is the kind of pitch that he would be able to reach for and hit out of the ballpark. Not only did it go out of the ballpark, but it went up above that huge wall above the backdrop.
Uh-oh, he reached out and golfs this one to left field, and it is gone. 12th home run of the year for Mookie Betts. Right now, I don't know that there's a whole lot you can throw this guy. Cuts into the Rangers' lead. It's 2-1.
Yeah, he's not a big guy, and Sometimes you get misled by the fact that he's a leadoff hitter, but he has a lot of strength. That's a four-seam fastball. Down, out over the plate. He actually reached for it a little bit and pulled that ball on a line out of the ballpark to left field. So he's on a groove right now. That's his 10th home run in 13 games. I think the thing I like as much about him as anything is in his first 3 years with the Red Sox, they've been excellent years. He's averaged 57 walks and 80 strikeouts. You go back 40 or 50 years and that's not that big a deal, but in the game today where power hitters and most hitters that play every day strike out well over 100 times, he's a guy that provides power, and over the last 3 years has averaged only 80 strikeouts and gotten his share of walks. This year, early in the year, he's walked 13 times and struck out 13 times. So not only does he provide power and average, but he's a good hitter. He puts them all in play. He's not a free swinger.
Ramirez takes a little low, 2-1 the count. Alex Cora, the first-year manager for the Red Sox today, was asked at his pregame radio interview by their radio broadcaster Tim Neverett about, he said, you know, look, the questions are going to come about Mookie Betts and where he's batting in your order with all that power that he's shown. And Alex Cora said, well, this is the last time I'm going to answer that question. He's my leadoff man, and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, why argue with the success that he's having? And you know, it's not like there's not guys batting behind him who are good. Ramirez, Martinez, and Bogaerts, you add them all up, they're averaging about 330, 340 themselves.
Ramirez draws the walk. And it'll bring up J.D. Martinez. J.D. Martinez, he was sort of the goal of the offseason for Dave Dombrowski, the general manager in Boston. He needed to add some power to their lineup after a really down year last year. And he waited and waited. Didn't sign Martinez until February. And he was kind of the guy they targeted, at least based on the rumors, all along from the start of the offseason. 6 home runs so far for Martinez and 24 driven in. And he's on a hot streak right now. Swings and misses, and the count is 0-2.
2 effective changeups to start this at bat. Martinez obviously looking for a fastball there, way out in front of both of them.
Martinez 14 hits in his last 8 games. That's a .483 average. And he holds off on that one. It's upstairs.
That's the same pitch that Bogaerts hit for a double to lead off the second inning, behind in the count 0-2. Martinez didn't swing at that one. Bogaerts got a pitch that was not even close to being a strike, still hit it.
1-2. Check of Hanley Ramirez. Last year the Red Sox hit 168 home runs, and that was the fewest in the American League. It's the first time that a Red Sox team was last in home runs in the American League since 1930. Ground ball up the middle, and Martinez keeps the inning going with a single. The Shields gets there quickly, and Hanley Ramirez thinks better of it. Says, hey, easy. Guys, calm down. I'm going back.
Martinez got a pitch that he could handle that time. Got on top of it. Ground ball. Found a hole with it, though.
So 2-men aboard now for Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts hit the double in the second inning. First hit of the night against Minor. And he takes strike one. That fastball there at 94 miles per hour. Bogart saw a little bit of a drop in power last year, just 10 home runs last season after hitting 21 the year before. And he checks up, takes a strike, and the count is 0-2. Now last year, part of the problem for Bogarts was an injury. He took a fastball off his hand in July. Tampa's Jacob Perea hit him with a 92-mile-per-hour fastball, and then Bogarts showed some, I don't know, timidity, I guess, going after fastballs. Wasn't as aggressive from that point forward. I'm hoping that's behind him now. He does have 3 homers this year. Shortstop batting in the cleanup spot for Boston. He has Ramirez at second, JD Martinez at first. And Minor, this will be his 25th pitch of the inning. Well, not before he checks in on Hanley Ramirez.
We're talking about the home runs that Bogarts hit last year compared to the year before. I saw a really interesting segment that Mark DeRosa did on a morning show the other day that talked about how hard that he hit the ball last year, but his launch angle was much lower than it is right now. And a lot of those balls that he hit right on the barrel of the bat didn't have the trajectory to go out of the ballpark, although they were hit very hard. And he showed some side-by-side comparisons between last year and this year, which seemed to indicate that he was swinging on a little more of an uppercut swing to increase the launch angle to get the ball in the air more. And even though he's been on the disabled list for a while this year, the results seem to be pretty positive.
1-2. And that one is a little wide. He had a left ankle injury that caused him to miss right in the neighborhood of about 15 games, I think, for Bogarts. Yeah, it was 15 games most of the month of April. Just activated on Friday. He's gone 8 for 22 since then. And of course has the double here tonight. Minor's 2-2 pitch and a bouncer foul.
Yeah, Bogarts has missed about half the time and still has 3 home runs and 15 runs batted in. He's hitting in a pretty nice spot. If you're hot and you have a little bit of power and you're batting 4th behind the guys he's batting behind, he's going to get a lot of RBI chances.
Well, there's the guy right in front of him, Martinez, who's at first. There's Hanley Ramirez just ahead of that, out at second. Minor trying to get himself to the finish line here in the 3rd inning. And he finally gets Bogarts to pop this one up. Rua coming way in, Profar going out, but it will be to Shields. All the way in from center field. The inning is done. Red Sox get one of the runs back on the Mookie Betts homer. And we go to the last of the 3rd. Rangers lead 2-1. miss the next T-Mobile Friday fireworks show. It's tomorrow night, Rangers and Red Sox once again, and then after the game, one of those spectacular fireworks shows. Go to TexasRangers.com for tickets or call 972-RANGERS. Come on out and join us tomorrow. Should be another beautiful night. Ryan Rua will start things here in the third inning for the Rangers, and then back up top for Delino DeShields. And Price gets one in there for a strike. Mentioned that Rua got in late yesterday. Came in as a defensive replacement. Had one plate appearance as a result and came up empty, so a 6-game hitting streak ended. Bad hop for Devers. But he throws out Rua, one away here in the third. Time now for a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
$250 down, $250 a month or less on select new Kias in stock only at southwestkia.com.
All right, here comes DeShields now. Delino struck out in the first inning, 0 for 1. We mentioned Delino has been in a bit of a groove offensively. Certainly has come off the disabled list with a vengeance. It was 0 for 4 in his first game back against Seattle. That was on April 22nd, and then has taken off since. Watches a strike from Price, the count 1-1. In fact, since that first game back, 12 for 38. Corners are in, middle of the infield back. And this ball hit sharply up the middle, knocked down, and Bogarts will never get it there in time. DeShields with an infield hit.
Yeah, that's one that you have a chance depending on who hit the ball and who's running. Nice play by Bogarts, but with Delino running, it really didn't make much difference. He had no chance to throw him out. Thus a runner. And maybe you're making a highlight from Delino running. Just a nice stop.
Well, he hit a ball that hard too. You kind of like to think that you should get a base hit for something like that.
Yeah, you should. And it's unfortunate the guys that don't run very well don't get it, and the guys that run fast do get it. They each hit the same ball. So that's just one of the things that not very fair in life. Some guys run fast, some of us don't.
Well, Delino with 4 stolen bases this year in 5 attempts. Chu is 0 for 1, grounded out in the first inning. And he comes up empty here, 0-2. A challenge here, if the Rangers had any interest in running, is that Vasquez behind the plate is one of the best in the game at throwing out base runners. Delino with a lead but not going. 1-2 the count. I saw a number on Vasquez. His percentage, his career percentage throwing out base runners, he's thrown out better than 40% of base runners in his career. It's the second highest rate by any catcher since 1987. Only Pudge with a better rate. Roller third base. Devers didn't get it, and everybody is safe. Rafael Devers was thinking about the completion of that play before he ever really started it.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting scoring decision. It wasn't a tough ball to pick up, but because he had to come from way back on the dead run, that has a potential to be an infield single. Just no matter how the official scorekeeper sees that play.
They scored an error.
could make a case for it either way, to be honest with you. If I was the hitter, I'd make a case that it was a hit.
Yeah.
If I was the pitcher, I'd make a case that it was an error.
So now a couple of base runners for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And he shoots this one foul. Strike one. So I was saying in the first inning when Kiner-Falefa came up, I thought he had a really interesting, I guess, approach to these new guys. Like Kluber yesterday, I said, never faced Kluber. What do you do? He said, well, the first at bat I get in there and I kind of get a look around a little bit. And then I try to comp him to somebody I might have faced in the minor leagues. Similar stuff, maybe an arm angle, something like that. And think about how I approached that guy. So sometimes that first at bat is just sort of a, you know, a recon mission for him. This one blooped on the left side of the infield, and Devers' infield fly will catch it anyway. I thought that was kind of an interesting way of thinking of it.
And I guess if he had seen a guy like Kluber in the minor leagues, the guy's probably not in the minor leagues anymore. Although I know what he means. Same style, same kind of a arm angle, breaking ball, sinking fastball.
Yeah, and he said, you know, like guy like Price, you know, there's some guys that you face at the big leagues who are pretty nasty. He said, but yeah, but don't forget, you know, when you're in the minor leagues, you're seeing some of the top prospects in organizations. He's like this guy AJ Puck, who got hurt during spring training, Oakland A's prospect, first round draft pick and all. And he's like, this is a guy who's got some of the filthiest stuff you've ever seen. He's like, the problem in the minor leagues is guys don't have command. So they're all over the place. He's like, it's actually, in some ways, you can get more comfortable in the box at the big leagues.
Yeah, I don't think it translates. It's easier to get base hits, but it might be a lot more comfortable in the minor leagues when you're facing a guy like Puck who's throwing 98 miles an hour. I don't know him personally, but a pitcher like that without not just command in the strike zone, but who might be a little bit wild, you're sometimes go up there, you're a little bit worried where that ball's going to go. That's not a comfortable feeling at all.
Yeah, he's like, you know, I can think along with the pitcher here, and I can have a sense for what they might try and do, anticipate a little bit. He's like, man, the minor leagues, it's just a some scatter shoot, runners going, and a swing and a foul tip. So everybody has to go back. Good jumps by DeShields and Chu.
Well, you look at some of the pitchers the young guys have faced. They're going to face David Price. David Price has won an ERA title a couple of times, won a Cy Young Award. Rick Porcello has won a Cy Young Award. Chris Sale might be one of the 3 toughest pitchers to hit in all of baseball. They've seen Corey Kluber. They've seen Justin Verlander. So they've pretty much seen it all in the month of April. They'll see a lot of other great pitchers. They'll see these guys again. They might see Luis Severino when they play the Yankees, but what they've seen in April, they're not going to see a whole lot of pitching much better than that.
A Masters level course in month number 1 for these guys.
A masterful game. Severino pitched against the Astros, shut them out. 9 innings, 105, 110 pitches. Astros lost a tough one today. Yankees scored 3 in the 9th and beat them 6-5.
Zara shoots this one into left field. JD Martinez can't get it, and it gets past him. DeShields in easily. Chu on his heels. He'll score. Mazzara with a 2-run double, and the Rangers lead 4-1.
Nomar still a very young developing player, but one of the reasons that he's such an excellent young hitter is the ability to use the whole field and not be strictly a pull hitter. If you try to pull that ball, you're going to hit it off the end of the bat and it's not going to go anywhere. But that ball on the outside corner, he waits on it, lets the ball get back on him a little bit, and then just shoots that line drive by Martinez in left field. The other thing we've seen from Nomar is his ability last month of the season last year and this year to hit left-handed pitching. Talked about Jurix and Profar doing the same thing, hitting lefties, batting right-handed. Nomar's starting to do the same thing himself. That's his 5th extra base hit against a left-handed pitcher. He only had 8 in all of 2017. But when a guy's a very talented player, he's only 22 or 23 years old, it's not unexpected that he would get better at things that he needs to improve on. He's got the right kind of a swing, the right kind of approach to hit any kind of a pitch. 98-mile-an-hour fastball, changeup, knuckleball, left-handed or right-handed. And this year he's starting to hit left-handed pitching.
Well, 2 more RBIs give him 19 now for the season. And more importantly, have the Rangers in front 4-1. Gallo now with a chance to drive Nomar home. Gallo was hit by a pitch in the second. Price ahead of him though, 0-2. And a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. 3rd strikeout for David Price. Rangers with a couple of runs add to their lead. And we come back. Emily Jones with a special guest.
Gotcha. In Fort Worth was illustrious to say the least, went on to a Hall of Fame career in the NFL. And you had some wheels on you, LT, as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park in Arlington here on TCU night. And what better guy to have on hand to represent TCU than you, LT? What's it been like?
Well, I'm honored to be here on TCU night, the 6th year we've done this. And I'll tell you, this is our hometown team, the Texas Rangers. We all watch them, during the season, hope for the best. But for TCU to be a part of tonight is certainly special.
You and I talked about you throwing out the first pitch. You were adamant about being on the rubber. Talk about how it went.
Well, I got out there and I said, man, it's much farther than I expected. And so, of course, the nerves started. But once I let it go, I felt good about it, and it just dropped off the plate. And I would say I didn't skip it, so it was a success.
Yeah, 0-2 pitch low and away, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Get him to swing at it and strike him out.
Okay, you've been retired for a few years now. We know you're doing some TV work, but there's also some projects you're involved in here locally, I know, very dear to your heart.
Yeah, the Thomason Center, which we're a resource for students, student athletes, coaches, and parents to really help build our students and student athletes in their character and leadership development. That's what I've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years now. We're going to continue this work here in the Metroplex because I really believe if we get to our kids at a young age and help them build their character and leadership, they will become great role models in society.
We just saw a shot of 50 of them or so who are on hand tonight. Where did that mission come from?
I'm sorry?
Where did that mission come from for you?
Well, just how I was raised. I was always raised around a great family that gave back. And certainly when I started my career in San Diego, I always wanted to be a big part of the community, to give back to the community. because that's what I saw growing up. And so I got to say it comes from my family.
Obviously a good luck charm as the Texas Rangers are up now 4-1 on the Red Sox. LT, thanks for the time. We appreciate it very much. Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. Boy, a Hall of Famer in a number of different ways. Alex Cora, you can see, asking our umpires to hang on for a second on that base hit. There was the error in center by DeShields, but then this throw to second to get Nunez.
Oh, there
he was
it is.
called out.
Took the right hand away and touched it with his left hand. At least that's what the Red Sox are thinking.
So they're going to challenge
it this way. Watch the right hand. Takes it away. And I think by the time he touched his stomach, the left hand was on the base. We'll see what the umpires think.
Yeah, you know, this is interesting, Tom, because that angle, well, you can certainly extrapolate that maybe he got the hand in there. You don't see it definitively. And from the other angle, I think the same thing. Yeah. I think you can certainly extrapolate it, but I don't know that you can see it. I don't know if you put the two together, if it's necessarily clear and convincing evidence. Our Ford replay review right now in the hands of our officials back in New York. But they'll have that to me, this is a tricky little one to sort out right here.
No touch, no touch.
Touching.
But where was his hand?
Exactly.
That's the question. I don't know.
And here, I mean,
I'm going for the tag.
Oh, safe. So Nunez, a little tip of the cap, I guess. He is safe. So that is a hit and then an error. An error on Delano DeShields, because when he came up with that baseball, he was thinking about throwing out Devers, but didn't have the ball.
It was a good slide by Nunez, because that's the only way he was going to be safe. The throw was there in time, was to tag the base with one hand and take the other hand, which was about to be tagged, away. Well, there's the ground ball up the middle. Both runners are going to end up at first and second until that. Devers goes to third easily. Nunez ends up safe at second, not quite so easily.
So 2-minute scoring position, nobody out here in the bottom of the, rather top of the fourth inning. Rangers leading 4-1. Now it is the bottom of the order. Blake Swihart, the designated hitter, 7th place hitter. Flied out to right field in the second. And Minor just missed the outside corner. Well, spot now for Minor to really dig deep here. Ooh, missed again, very close to that outside edge.
Yeah, a little bit outside, definitely trying to keep the ball away from Swihart. Rangers shade him to pull on the ground and slightly the other way, pretty much straight away in the outfield.
Swihart, formerly a top catching prospect, now a utility man, and he swings and misses. It's a full count. Well, Minor could really use a strikeout here. He got Devers looking in the second. He got Vasquez swinging in the third for his 2 strikeouts so far. Infield back, the payoff pitch. Low, so they are full. Just the second walk allowed by Minor tonight. Well, this is the situation I suppose you're doing your best to avoid when you play the Boston Red Sox. Bases loaded. And it doesn't seem to matter who it is. They have had guys deliver in a big way. As a team hitting .400 this year with the bases loaded. And Christian Vasquez takes low, and it's now time for our lows. Whole team together. Red Sox 6 grand slams in April. Xander Bogaerts with 2 of them. Mookie Betts, Devers, Martinez, Mitch Moreland, all chipping in. 6 slams in 1 month. This one lifted out to left field. Coming on for it is Roy. Won't get to it. Profar has to go out and get it. Only 1 run scores. That was a tough read off the bat, I think, for everybody. But Devers is in. It's a 4-2 game.
Yeah, it was the kind of ball that is very difficult to read right off the bat because it's just looped slightly over shortstop. It's a changeup down and away that Vasquez hits right off the end of the bat. Doesn't go very far. Profar at double play depth can't quite get back to get it. The lead runner has to wait to see what happens. He scores easily. But the man on second only gets to third on that play. He had to wait to see what the guy at third was going to do.
The bases loaded average goes up for the Red Sox. And now a little tapper foul by Jackie Bradley Jr., who popped up foul in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1. Nunez, Swihart, and Vasquez out there. And another foul ball. So 0-2 the count. Jackie Bradley, 188 average. It's been a bit of a struggle for him out of the gates. Miners 0-2. Ooh, look good. Strike 3 called. And there's a first out of the inning.
Bradley's arguing that the ball was high. Phil Cuzzy pretty much told him, not in my mind it wasn't. You can see the curveball, the grip, the spin. Drops in right at the top of the strike zone, although Jackie Bradley Jr. wouldn't agree with that. Top of the strike zone. That's a strike according to our pitch track.
Well, that's a big out, but things certainly get more challenging here with Mookie Betts.
Yeah, the one thing you got to worry about him is once he hits 1 home run, they start to come after. They come in pretty big numbers after his first home run. He's had a 3 home run game twice this year. I'd like to be in a situation where maybe you have an open base to pitch him tough. Can't pitch around him with the bases loaded. Still going to have to pitch him tough, though. Hope you can get him to swing at something slightly out of the strike zone. Maybe hit a ground ball somewhere. He's in a groove right now.
Well, hottest hitter in baseball. 1-0. And a high fly ball out to right field. Mazzara has plenty of room. He also has a very strong arm. Nunez tags. The throw will come back to second base. It's a sac fly for Betts. Makes it a 1-run game, but there are now 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, the way Betts is swinging the bat right now, 10 home runs in 13 games, you almost feel relieved that he got a sacrifice fly and nothing more.
I won't lie to you, I do feel relieved.
I do too.
It's a 4-3 game, and it brings up Hanley Ramirez. And I think of all the possible outcomes, that is definitely not a terrible one right there. Ramirez 0 for 1 with a walk. Miner might tell you otherwise. Pitch upstairs to Ramirez for ball 1. Now Ramirez, you know, he's getting on a little bit. 34 years old now, and seen a little bit of a decline in his numbers. Obviously still a dangerous hitter, a guy who can hit for average and for power, at least who has this year. Last year saw a big dip in the average.
He looks like he's in great shape. He looks thinner than he has been the last couple of years. When he first started out, he could fly. He was a base stealer, a shortstop. I don't think he's going to return to those days, but he looks like he's given himself the best chance to have a big year by being in great shape.
2-0 pitch and a comebacker. Minor knocked it down. He's going to have to recover quickly. In time, and he does.
Oh boy.
Just got Hanley Ramirez. That ends the inning, and it saves a huge run.
Nice play by Mike Minor. One hopper back to him off the glove. Can he get to the ball quickly enough to get Ramirez? Ramirez didn't get out of the box real well, and the throw just nips him. First and third, 2 outs. Last out of the inning. Nice play.
Cool view from out in center field. And that's the scene tonight. Red Sox and Rangers opening game in a 4-game series. And David Price goes after Jurickson Profar with ball 1. Jurickson takes outside, and it is 2-0. Profar has been one of the real neat stories for the Rangers. You think of the young players, and he's still in that grouping. Despite the many, many years of such high expectations. It's been fun seeing him get regular at bats and the types of at bats that he can put on a pitcher. And even tonight, you go back to the second inning when he deposited that triple, and that was just another great example of what he can do. The other day, Anthony Iapoce made the point to me. He said, look, man, you get him 500 plate appearances in a season, and I guarantee you he's going to pile up the numbers. 3-1. Anthony's right now, he's buying that Profar stock. He really likes what he's been seeing.
I think just the way he's hitting left-handed pitchers over the last couple of weeks is a pretty good indication of what Anthony's talking about. He just needed a chance to go up there and see him frequently. The other thing that'll be coming around is the accuracy of his throwing at shortstop. That's a hard throw, much harder throw than from second and third base. But once he gets out there long enough and gets used to it, he'll be able to do that.
Well, what makes it a different throw, let's say, than the one from third?
I think you're just deeper, on the balls, say where you're going up the middle, out on the outfield grass, you're on the move. I think at third base, if you're out on the outfield grass at third base, then you've got a pretty long throw. But if you field the ball even with the bag at third base, just a much easier throw, I think, than having to go slightly in the hole and throwing a longer throw from shortstop. More different angles that you have to throw from. If you have to go to your left at third base toward shortstop when you field the ball, not an easy play because of the movement, but it's a shorter throw than it is when you go to your left and field it on the outfield grass behind second base. I think it takes a little more arm strength to play shortstop than it does third base. I think there's a lot of people that can get by at third base that could never get by arm strength wise at shortstop.
Profar off first, and Nunez jerks away from a strike. 1-1 the count. Nunez sack fly in the second inning, a ball that he really struck well. And off the bat, I thought there was very little chance of J.D. Martinez making the play, but a fantastic defensive effort. And it held Nunez to a sac fly. 1-1. And that one misses badly. That was the one really good play that man made. And then Nomar Mazara the next inning hit one out to left that he just flat missed off the bounce. It allowed 2 runs to score. Rangers with a pair in the second, a pair in the third. And I would say that is not the A pickoff move right there for David Price. Just letting Profar know that he's aware of his presence, I guess. Price 6'5", and let's go with that one. It's 2-2. They list him at 210 pounds, and he's had some injury issues over the years. Last year held to right about 75 innings thanks to some elbow injuries. 1 year after leading Major League Baseball both in starts and in innings pitched. His velocity, though, came back nicely last year for him. 2-2 up and away. And it's a full count on Nunez.
I was trying to think of a shortstop, Dave. We were talking about arm strength at shortstop, who didn't really have the arm strength to play shortstop, but still did it pretty well. And the guy I was thinking about was David Eckstein, who played shortstop for the Angels when they won the World Series back in the early 2000s. Really didn't have the arm strength, but he made up for it by getting to the ball quickly and getting a quick release and an accurate throw. So it can be done. And I think most of the time shortstop has the best arm in the infield.
Yeah, it's funny. Pop up by Nunez the first out of the inning, because when you were saying what you were saying earlier, I was like, with the exception of David Eckstein, I saw him for a lot of years in St. Louis, and he was that guy you watch him in a game, and just like you did when he was with the Angels, and you think to yourself, how is that son of a gun getting it done? Now every place was, bang bang at first,
yeah,
but he, by and large, got it there in time.
He did. He just forced it and made it happen. He figured out how to get the ball to first base before the runner. He didn't have the luxury of taking his time, setting up, delivering a strong throw. He had to get to it quickly. He had to have great hands because he couldn't afford to bobble it. And then he had to get a good grip on it and get rid of it quickly because he had to overcome the lack of arm strength. But when you're the everyday shortstop on a World Series winning team and are able to play shortstop for an extended period of time like he did, then you figured it out.
Chirinos takes on the corner, 1-1. Well, you talk about like a baseball rat. Man, was he the epitome,
sure was.
David Eckstein. Because his at-bats were the same way, right? I mean, he'd foul off 7 pitches and then,
yeah,
then dribble one.
He just found a way to beat you and be a good ball player. If you scouted the same player in college, you would say, we'll have to play second base. No way he can play shortstop. Has the tools to be a good organizational player, maybe a utility player at the big leagues. That's probably what it would have said. But as scouts have said for 100 years, you can't measure what's inside somebody, and All you can say about a guy like David Eckstein is he had the ingredients, the winning ingredients that went beyond the physical tools.
2-1 pitch. Oh, runner goes, but Profar will have to return. It's 2-2. He was that guy, Eckstein, who on the other side, you really didn't want to like him, but then you go talk to him and he plays the game with such energy and positive, positivity, and he's a great guy. So a couple years ago, he's out, he's retired, he's done with the game. You don't hear from him or see from him. I'm doing some games for Major League Baseball, some like USA national team qualifying games out in North Carolina. Ground ball into the hole in left field, and Chirinos is on. Profar drops anchor at second. 2 men aboard here in the 4th inning. So, you've seen some of the greatest young players in the country trying out to play for Team USA. And I look out on the grounds crew, and there's this little guy raking and working the field all day between games over and over again. He's wearing one of those things over his face to block the sun. It's David Eckstein. I want to attract him to ask, what are you doing? And he said, oh, don't tell anybody I'm here. I love to be here. I like to work here at this field and watch the kids and work with kids. Unbelievable guy.
Did he have kids, or was he a coach?
He was coaching and helping, working on the field. And
well, that is a baseball
he's
rat.
A baseball rat. Well, 2 men on for the Rangers in this 4th inning, threatening again against Price and Ruud.
Look at that angle.
Where's that going?
That's where Ian Kinsler used to hit him. Long and way foul.
Just off the facade of the very top. Here you go. Watch this. Just under the lights.
You can't really pull one that far. Much more foul than that.
This will be the 70th pitch of the night for David Price. Line drive, center field, base hit. Here comes Profar. No throw offered. RBI single for Rua. Rangers tack on again. It's 5-3.
Well, he pulled one way foul and then hit that changeup toward the end of the bat, but elevated over the infield for an RBI. There's the grip of David Price's changeup, the circle change. And Ryan got just enough of the bat on it, right off the end of the bat. Not a bad pitch down and away. Good job by Ryan. Get that ball into the outfield for a base hit and an RBI.
So they continue to put pressure on David Price. And to a point you were making a little earlier, outside of Price's first couple of starts where the numbers were pretty good. His last several, it seems to have been a lot more difficult for him to accumulate the outs inning by inning. And tonight, Rangers have produced a lot of traffic. And that pitch count escalating quickly on him.
Yeah, and David Price is a guy whose pitch count has been very, very good this year. He's averaged less than 14 pitches an inning, 4th best in Major League Baseball. But the Rangers are working him over a little bit tonight.
Shields up there with a couple of base runners.
And I don't think when you talk to Price after the game that he'll say that he had his good stuff tonight. But that's what you're supposed to do as a team, and the Rangers are doing it on that kind of a night. Take it to them. Rangers have had 5 hits, scored 5 runs. Got a double and a triple in the game.
Corners are in with Delano up there, but he hasn't shown any indication he wants to bunt. 1-1 the count on DeShields. He had a base hit in the 3rd inning, struck out in the 1st. And there's C. Devers at 3rd, Ramirez at 1st. Ramirez way off the line at 1st. And that's up and away. Delano with that infield hit in the 3rd inning extended his hitting streak to 7 games. That's longest of the year for the Rangers. Fouls it back. It's 2-2. Well, activity already in the bullpen for Boston is Hector Velasquez. Looks like he's been thrown out there a little bit already. Might be prepared to come in if needed on very short notice here. And it might just take one more big hit to knock Price out. 2-2. And this one flared over second. That's a base hit. Chirinos had to hold for a moment, so he won't be able to score. The bases are loaded, and DeShields has his second hit of the night.
Yep, that's just a nice job by Delino. He was giving it a David Eckstein at bat right there. He's battling, going to make something happen, make contact some way with 2 strikes. Looked like the pitch was away from him. Looked like a cut fastball, and he stays with it. Lines it over second base in the right center field for a base hit. Good job by Delino.
No chance for Robinson. So 3 men out there, 2 coming up. 0 for 2, reached on an error his last time. A lot of high stress pitches for David Price tonight. That one low, throw down to third base. Well, that is
There's
not
that arm you're talking about.
Tell you what, man, doing that to another catcher. Come on.
And with a left-hand hitter up there, he's got a clear shot. Whether he's out or safe, I think Devers bobbled that ball a little bit. Wouldn't have mattered.
One and 0. And that'll even the count. So a run is in. But we saw Boston with the bases loaded. Now it's the Rangers with runners everywhere. Chirinos, Rua, DeShields, third to first. This one just foul. Well, battle tonight. A couple of great left-handed starters from Vanderbilt. David Price, very good one at Vanderbilt. In fact, 11-1. Set a school record, 194 strikeouts as a junior in 2007. And he took Vanderbilt to their first ever SEC regular season and tournament championships. A couple years later, it would be Mike Minor. It would be BMOC. 1-2 pitch, and it's high. Evens the count on Chu. There's Minor. Minor with the upper hand so far in this one tonight, working with a 5-3 lead. '80th pitch of the night, forthcoming here for Price. Chu swings and misses, strike 3. Well, Price needed a big strikeout, and he got it right there. 2 away.
Let's see what he used to get this strikeout. Looked like a 2-seam fastball. Outside corner. Price's velocity has peaked right around 92, occasionally 93 in this game. In his heyday, it was more like 95, 96-ish. Down a few miles an hour. At least in this game.
Well, Kiner Falefa has had a couple of looks at him. Let's see if he's made any comps and adjustments. As he takes inside with ball 1. Isaiah is flied out to center and then was out on an infield fly in the 3rd. Long inning for Price, his 30th pitch now in the 4th. And it's fouled away.
You mentioned that Price is averaging for the season so far under 14 pitches an inning. He's only had one inning like that. That was the first inning. Other than that, he's had some long innings.
Chirino's third, Rua second, to Shields at first, 2 away. And another foul ball to the right side. Isaiah has hit safely in 11 of the last 14 games. And I'll have an extra moment to think about this one as Vasquez takes a moment, burns a mound visit, go have a word with Price, as well as shortstop Xander Bogaerts. Here's a quick one. Hadn't come easily tonight for that guy right there. Over 80 pitches tonight, over 30 in the inning. Rangers have their third place hitter up there. And a runner off every base. 1 run already in this inning. And that is outside. It's 2-2. It's the 21st game in Kiner Falefa's big league career. Trying to deliver a rare bases loaded hit for the Rangers. He takes low. It's a full count.
Good eye. Nice at bat for a young player. Not too bad. You got the bases loaded against David Price, the Boston Red Sox. The record that they've had to start the season. Key situation at home. And you have the calmness and the patience to take that last pitch, which is pretty close. Good qualities.
Yeah, he seems pretty unflappable. What we've seen anyway. Three-two. Ball 4, and Kiner Falefa draws a bases loaded walk. Rangers lead 6-3.
How many people would have had the patience to take that pitch? That one was close.
Now here comes Alex Cora. And that is it for David Price. Cannot get through the 4th inning tonight. The rookie Isaiah Kiner Falefa bumps him from the ball game, and Velasquez coming on for Boston.
And the patience, let's take a look at it. Just a little bit up and in. Pitch to hit. He had a good swing at it, fouled it off. Did the same thing with that pitch. Now he's behind in the count 1-2. Cut fastball, a little bit away. Sinker, down low. Fastball, down low. Bases loaded wide. That's a nice at bat for a young player who showed the patience to not expand the strike zone at a time where his heart should have been really pounding, and where a young player, or a veteran player for that matter, might tend to be a little bit over anxious. Great job.
So now it's in the hands of Hector Velasquez, who is making his 8th appearance for Boston. Pretty good numbers overall for him, and a guy obviously that they use in long relief. 22 innings in his 7 outings, and his first pitch gets away, and that one allows another run to score. 3rd run in the inning, and the Rangers lead it 7-3.
Let's see if it's a pass ball or a wild pitch. That's going to be a wild pitch that I think Christian Vasquez would stay under most circumstances. He would expect to block. It looked like it might have hit the plate and bounced in a way that surprised him, in a way that might have been slightly different than if it hit the dirt. In any event, the Rangers will take a run and be happy for it.
2nd and 3rd with 2 out, and the 1-0. Mazzara chops it foul. 1-1 to count. And that run charged to David Price. And his book not closed yet. He is still responsible for the Shields at 3rd and Kiner Falefa at 2nd base. Two and one. Now Velasquez last pitched on Monday night against Kansas City. Went 2 scoreless in that one. Picked up his 4th win of the year. In fact, he's tied for the American League lead right now with 4 wins. So a long reliever who has proved quite valuable for Boston. 3-1.
The Red Sox only have 1 left-handed reliever, and so at a time with men on base where you have 2 lefties, Mazzara and Gallo, coming up, both of them will see a right-handed pitcher.
3-1, and Mazzara puts a charge into this one, high in the air, deep to center field. Gone! A home run! A little icing on the cake. A 6-run inning. Mazzara with his 6th home run of the year, and the Rangers lead it 10-3.
Talking about Nomar, Joey Gallo before the game. Gallo's hit 40 home runs last year, on his way to doing something similar this year. Nomar knocked in 100 runs last year, and he hits a sinking fastball down and away and pulls it way out of the ballpark to right field. We talked about the ball he hit in this ballpark, 480 feet. The raw power is there. The numbers haven't been there yet, but this may be the year where he has a little bit of a breakthrough on the amount of home runs that he hits.
Gallo rolls out to end the inning, but it's a 6-run 4th inning for the Rangers. Capped by Nomar Mazzara, launching that one to center field. And this one all Texas.
Sox 10-3 in the opener of this 4-game series as we welcome you back, and it is time for our progressive fan of the game. And I always love a cute couple who coordinates, and this is Robert and Jenny Shaw. And turn around, let's see your cute jerseys together since 1983. How cute is that? They get the progressive fan of the game for, you know, having a cute jersey idea, but also the fact that they've been married for 35 years. Quite impressive, in my opinion.
That is awesome.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Let's see what we get here.
Together. There you go. Since 1983. Really well done. I love that. 10-3 here, Rangers leading. And J.D. Martinez takes a healthy rip at that one. It's 0-2. It's now Minor working with a real nice lead in this 5th. Martinez 1 for 2, singled his last time up in the 3rd inning. And Minor delivers high. So that was the biggest inning of the year for the Rangers. 6 runs so far, most in any one inning this year. And the 10 runs, also a season high for the Rangers. 1-2.
We're talking about Nomar and the long ball. His first 2 seasons with the Rangers, he had nice numbers, 20 home runs both years. He's got 6 now, barely a month into the season. That's just the maturity of a young hitter. People say this frequently too, that power numbers are the toughest numbers to predict. And sometimes the power comes late, sometimes it doesn't come at all. But it's coming right now for Nomar. Ability to use the whole field. He's got power to left center field, center field. And you saw the power on that ball that was tailing down away that he pulled into the bullpen. Ranger bullpen in right center field. There's the pitch. You can see the sinking tailing action down and away, and the strength that it takes to reach down and drive a ball like that into the bullpen. 106 miles an hour, 27-degree launch angle. Those 2 numbers result in a ball that goes 435 feet.
Chopper third base. That's a fair ball. Long throw for Nunez and not in time. Good dig by Gallo, but Martinez has the infield hit. Well, the Josh Abbott Band is going to be performing a post-game concert this Sunday, presented by Budweiser. Come on out to the ballpark for the finale of this series with the Rangers and the Red Sox. It's a 2:05 game, and then the concert afterward. Don't miss the Josh Abbott Band, presented by Budweiser, live at Globe Life Park. Get your tickets and field passes, TexasRangers.com/concert. So Martinez on to start the inning. And here is Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts, the double earlier, popped up in the 3rd. Miners 1-0. That'll leave it. Minor, he needed 5 pitches to put up a 0 in the 1st inning. Since then, Boston has made him work a little bit. Pitch count already at 76 tonight for Minor. It is 1-1 in the dirt. The 2nd inning tripled the pitch count from the 1st, then 28 in the 3rd inning. So he was huffing and puffing a little bit. Even last inning, 19 pitches. Now though works with a 7-run lead. It's 3-1. Well, Bogaerts, another dangerous hitter in this Red Sox lineup. An offense that thus far has been about the most potent in baseball. And there's ball 4. So an infield hit and a walk. Not exactly how you want to follow up a 6-run inning. Hey, this summer, the World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1. Every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. Doug Brocale. Quick word with Minor.
So I did that 23andMe DNA test. And it kind of reinforced what I already knew, that I'm predominantly English. So in the World Cup, I will be rooting for the team from England, other than the United States. But the United States isn't in it.
Yeah, not in it.
So in that case, I've got to go for England. Those are my people.
Yeah, so you're probably really excited about what's-his-face, who plays for England.
I didn't say I know the team inside and out yet.
I don't listen.
I just realized that I'm English, and that because of that DNA test with 23andMe, I'm going to favor the English team. I'll start to do my research, and as the season goes on, I'll know more and more about that team. I do know Wayne Rooney. He's from England, right?
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're way ahead of me.
Did you do the DNA test?
I did. Do
you know what you are?
I do. I mean, I'm a mutt.
You're a mutt?
My thing came back.
You can root for anybody.
So you're like 6% everything. There's a ground ball, second base, and Profar lost it on the exchange. A chance for the double play, but they'll have to settle for one. So Bogarts erased off the bases. Devers avoids that double play. A 4-6 force out. Martinez is at third.
Well, when you've got a lot of young players, there's sometimes spectacular things to talk about, and occasionally there's things that you need to work on. That was a hard hit ball that took a little bit of a hop on Isaiah, but he stays with it, gives a good feed to Jurickson, who knows he's going to have to get rid of it quickly. Bogarts is no problem. He's sliding straight into the bag. Jurickson couldn't quite get a handle on it. Ball that you'd like to see turned, but Rangers end up getting one out of it.
Nunez goes fishing on the first pitch he sees from Minor. Eduardo Nunez is flat out to right, or rather to center field, and singled to center. Yeah, so I was a mix. I was French and German, a little English. It's kind of all over the map. So I guess for me,
you pick your team.
I go to Vegas, check out the odds, see who's a favorite, and I can just jump on that bandwagon.
There you go.
One strike pitch.
Well, I've already got England, so you can't take England.
Can't take England now.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. That whole deal with 23andMe that's not all you can determine from that, but I've been pretty interested in all the emails I've gotten from them.
Did you jump in and do the add-on thing, all the health stuff?
I haven't done that yet. No,
I did.
There's some stuff I haven't quite figured out if I want to know yet. Well,
Strikeout.
First and third and one out. There's a good result right there. I went after Eduardo Nunez in this at bat. Threw him a changeup way out in front of it, swung underneath it. First pitch he swung before the ball was halfway to the plate. Now that's a case of a hitter going up there first and third, one out, chance to drive in a run and maybe being a little over anxious. We were talking about Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, bases loaded, and how patient he was against David Price, taking some close pitches, not expanding the strike zone. And there's a little more veteran player in Eduardo Nunez. In fact, a significantly more veteran player. He might have been a little over anxious in that at bat, which played right into Mike Minor's hand. Went to the off speed pitches and struck him out.
Well, the one strike pitch to Swihart is off the plate, 1-1. So they have Martinez at third, Devers at first. Minor trying to throw up another 0 here in the 5th inning. Well, he gets a strike call on Swihart. It's 1-2. Swihart hasn't had a ton of looks from the batter's box. Uh-oh, here we go. Cuzzy hearing it from Alex Cora.
If I had to guess what they're saying is they were They were saying there's a couple of pitches that David Price threw that looked like they were as good as that pitch. Age-old complaint that comes out of a big league dugout or any other dugout in baseball for that matter.
Slow roller shortstop, feed to second, and the inning is done. So a 0 put up by Minor. Rangers lead by 7.
Profar in the second inning had an RBI triple. Mookie Betts came back in the third and launched his 12th home run of the year. Big night for Nomar Mazara. In the third, he slices a hard hit double down the left field line. That knocks in 2 runs. And then in the fourth, he caps off a 6-run inning with a 435-foot home run to right center field. A 3-run homer for Nomar. 5 runs knocked in on the night. 6 home runs and 22 RBIs on the season. That's our 4-game summary.
Yeah, and it's a lot to summarize at this stage of the game. We're only halfway there. 10-3, Rangers leading. And Jurickson Profar's had a couple of nice at bats tonight, starting off this 5th inning against the relief man and long man Hector Velasquez. And he gets ahead 2-0. High one that time. 3-0. Well, that was a pretty simple at bat there for Profar. That one not quite as challenging as he just takes 4 misses and a great start to the 5th inning. All right, time for the big story. How about this one today? Ichiro Suzuki, and the rumors were starting to come out a day or 2 ago, but he is retiring, taking a front office position with the Mariners, and it's sort of a semi-retirement, as I understand it, Tom, keeping open the possibility that he might come back and play a couple of games next year. As I think they are scheduled, Seattle's scheduled to go to Japan next year.
Yeah.
And so maybe
that
for
would
those
make sense.
Opening games he would play. And well, he had some really neat things to say just about the excitement of going back to Seattle this year and the way he's been treated and received, and what a perfect matchup.
Yeah, I don't think you could have a better representative in your front office than Ichiro Suzuki.
So here the lead man on, and Renato Nunez 0 for 1 with a sac fly. Velasquez delivers 0-2 and a swing and a miss. So first strikeout of the night for Hector Velasquez, one away. We'll bring up Robinson Chirinos. Well, good start to this one tonight for the Rangers. Still a ways to go yet. But the biggest offensive output of the season. And we're just in the middle innings. Chirinos 1 for 2 has scored a run. And he takes a strike. So Chirinos with the start today. No surprise, the frontline catcher for the Rangers, catches 3, maybe 4 of every 5 games. And he'll ask for time. Rangers did make some roster moves today. This one bounces up there. Good block by Vasquez. 1-1. And well, one of the main moves, Juan Centeno was designated for assignment today. You might have heard the news after the ball game yesterday. The Rangers announced that they had claimed Carlos Perez off waivers from Atlanta, and so today Perez was activated and he takes over as the backup man. Nick Gardewine option to Round Rock today is another move, and the Rangers added Yohander Mendez, a left-hander, to add some depth to the bullpen, at least for the moment. It's also continued moves for this roster for the Rangers, dealing with a lot of injuries in the early part of the season. The 2-1 from Velasquez inside.
Velasquez having a hard time locating the strike zone. He's thrown 17 pitches. 10 of them have been balls. Taking a long time out there to think about it. Only walked 4 batters in 22 innings, so control has not been an issue for him so far this year.
Slow roller, shortstop. Bogarts will go to second, but he throws it out into right field. Profar will head to third. Well, just corralled out there, but everybody's safe. So Profar now at third base, and Chirinos is on. No doubt a fielder's choice and an error. Well, that was a gift.
This is not the Red Sox at their best tonight. Bogarts is a veteran player. It looked like he took too much time, and even if he threw it accurately to second base, I'm not sure that he could have gotten Profar. I think he was going to be safe anyway. Ball sailed out of his hand. Profar takes third with nobody out. And the Rangers continuing to put the pressure on the Red Sox.
Wow, and that will be all for Hector Velasquez, who you would anticipated maybe going a little deeper in this one. Marcus Walden, a right-hander, coming in for the Red Sox.
Braves just outscored the Mets 18-0 in the last 2 days. Went into New York and made the fans walk out of there about halfway through the game 2 days in a row.
Well, here's Ryan Rua.
Well, the Braves have two perfect veterans on that team, Nick Markakis and Freddie Freeman. You know, when they signed Nick Markakis, you had to wonder. Marcus Walden, 8th game on the season. ERA's up there a little bit. Almost a strikeout per inning. Keeps the ball in the ballpark. No, you wondered why would they give that big of a contract to Nick Markakis when they're not a contender. I think their goal was to become a contender and to have a veteran presence. And Nick Markakis and Freddie Freeman, their great first baseman, give them that veteran presence with a lot of nice young players.
Well, they've been an exciting team in the National League, man. That is pretty amazing what they have done out of the National League East. 19-11. And they have won 5 straight. Here the Rangers with a 7-run lead and threatening for more. Profar's at third, Chirinos at first. They're the responsibility of reliever Hector Velasquez, who's in the dugout. Marcus Walden inherits those guys. It is 1-2. Check swing. No, he did not check it up. Phil Cuzzy says he went around and he rings up Rua. And Rua says, well, wait, me?
That's where I think Ryan would prefer the first base umpire to make that call. That's why Adrian points down to the first base umpire to try to get him to call it before the umpire calls it a strike. You might get a call to strike anyway, but at least the first base umpire would have a better look at it. No way, that's a strike. That's not even close to being a strike. Ryan was shocked. He didn't think it was a strike. You could tell from the dugout it wasn't a strike, and my guess is that Adam Hamari would have been able to tell from first base that it wasn't a strike. That's why Adrian does that.
Yeah, so that's a big out, 2 away for Delino DeShields. 2 hits tonight for Delino, a couple of runs scored. And he takes a strike. Rangers got 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and then exploded for 6 runs in the 4th inning. Already on the 3rd pitcher of the night, Marcus Walden, who was recalled yesterday from AAA Pawtucket. In fact, this is his 3rd go-round with a big club. And he misses low. It's 1-1.
You know, on that kind of a call, as a home plate umpire, you can't really see the angle of the bat as well as the first base umpire. You see the batter lunge and his hands go forward, and I'm sure to Phil Cuzzy it looked like a swing. But when you see the angle of the bat, I don't think it would have qualified as a swing.
Delino stays alive, 1-2. And of course, that's got to be, you know, the frustration magnifies when you're a guy like Rua with, you know, limited opportunities so far this year to get your at bats. That's
Yeah,
when
especially
you feel like
in that
it's taken.
situation, 1st and 3rd and 1 out. You've got a great chance to knock in another run. Ryan already had a single and an RBI. So yeah, that is a disappointing at bat for Ryan.
And DeShields continuing to fight with Walden here.
Delino's kind of in the same situation he was back in the 4th inning when he battled and got a single to right field against David Price.
One-two. And a bouncer in the hole, shortstop. Bogarts to a slide to second in time. And they just got Robinson Chirinos. Adrian Johnson right there to make the call. Jeff Bannister saying, hang on. They're going to call upstairs and just take one more quick look at that one. He's probably going to let that one go. Yep, they will let it go. So, inning is done. Rangers leave a couple out there, but they lead by 7. things off for Boston. Vasquez, Jackie Bradley, and then Mookie Betts. So Minor has allowed 7 hits so far. He's also stranded 7 Red Sox out on the bases. And there are probably a lot of pitchers around baseball scratching their head right now, because this Red Sox team had 6 grand slams in the month of April. They were hitting 400 as a team with the bases loaded, hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position. But Minor somehow is bobbed and weaved around a lot of bullets today. Made some big pitches when he's needed them. And the ground ball, shortstop. Profar is there. And there's 1 down in the 6th inning. Let's check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, it has been a relative mash unit for this Texas Rangers team, with so many guys going to the DL. But some good news, or some guys starting to progress their way back in the form of hamstring injuries being healed. First, Rougned Odor, who's been out since April 10th. He ran the bases and could begin a rehab assignment as early as this weekend. Meantime, Adrian Beltre participated in a full pregame workout today. He's still a little bit further away, but he's only, of course, been out since April 24th with that grade 1 hamstring strain, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. A soft liner to second base, and Kiner Falefa right there, 2 away. Yeah, that was good news today. It's fun to see those guys out on the field and doing baseball activities. Gives you a little optimism that they're coming around. Minor, meanwhile, 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning. And now here is Mookie Betts. A home run tonight, a sacrifice fly. 1 for 2 so far, and takes a high strike. He hasn't been able to accomplish much this year, but he does lead Major League Baseball in batting average, home runs, runs scored, extra base hits, slugging, total bases, and probably several other things. Not a very good pitcher, really. Oh, 1 pitch is fouled away.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know that. You're right. I probably shouldn't say that. I mean,
he's bowled a 300 game. He's bowled on the Pro Tour. He's a great ping pong player.
Yeah, best in the clubhouse. He was
probably those kind of guys. There's nothing they can't do.
No. He was a district MVP in basketball in high school. He was. I mean, he was all these things. So you're right. That was one of a million stupid things I say, but let's put it this way: his pitching numbers this year, unremarkable.
No, that's true.
Here's the 0-2, very high. What a phenomenal athlete.
He's no
and a great
Pablo
story.
Sandoval, but
no,
for all we know, he's probably got a great knuckleball.
Fun one to watch, and the Red Sox, they've got several of them, but man. Gold Glover, All-Star, 6th in MVP voting last year. He cues this one down to first. Minor with a bare hand grab on that feed and makes a spectacular play at first. Really nice job by Minor.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a base hit. Could Mike Minor beat Mookie Betts to the bag? Here's the answer. Just barely. Last out of the inning. A nice quick 1-2-3 inning for Mike. Might go out there for the 7th.
today. All right, here come the Rangers now in the 6th inning. It's Chu, Kiner Falefa, and Mazzara. 10-3, Rangers leading. And Chu fouls off, strike one. 0 for 3 tonight. Did reach on an error, scored a run in the 3rd. Six-run 4th inning for the Rangers. They've scored 10 runs on 7 hits tonight. And Marcus Walden, the reliever who finished off the 5th inning, out here again in the 6th. Right-hander, only 5'10", a little over 200 pounds. 29 years old, from Fresno, California. And Chu shoots it into left field. That's a base hit. So they had played him to pull, and Chu goes against the shift for his first hit of the night.
I'm sure the numbers show that Chu pulls the ball the majority of the time to the right side, but he's also one of the hitters that is a pull hitter on the ground that has the ability to go the other way. And he just seems like a guy that can hit against the shift much more frequently than a lot of pull hitters. I think when you look at Chu, I mean, I haven't looked at all the numbers and what the spray start charts say, but just doesn't look like that kind of a pull hitter the way he can go to left field.
Well, I agree.
I'm sure the numbers say it, or they wouldn't play him that way.
He's on, and the count 1-0 to Kiner Falefa. Trying to check up, but he couldn't. The count 1-1. A great start to his big league career. A couple of home runs already for Kiner Falefa. And he bounces this one through the right side. That's a base hit. I don't know how Chu got over the top of that one. Now here comes the throw to third base, and Chu is thrown out there by a mile.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You made the point that Mookie Betts couldn't pitch. After watching that throw, you want to take that back?
Yes, I'll absolutely take it back. There's no doubt he could pitch.
They've shown replays of a throw that Ichiro made from right field many times. Here's another look at the same throw. One hop dart. An easy play at third base.
Chu did a great job of avoiding the bouncer through the right side. Good hurdle move. And that was probably enough to maybe just kind of keep him at second base.
I think he'd like to do that if he could go back again.
So a 9-5 put out at third. Kiner Falefa is aboard with 1 out.
And you know, he had plenty of time to charge that ball. Wasn't hit very hard. So when he did catch it, he was not that deep in right field. It was not that long a throw.
So, you know, to the point of him maybe being a pitcher as well as everything else he does so expertly on the field. It does, you know, the Shohei Ohtani stuff kind of begs the question, you know, maybe we've messed up by not allowing guys like Joey Gallo or Jurickson Profar or Mookie Betts to pursue both.
Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. I'd look at it that it's very, very difficult to do that. I just think that you can't be at your best either way doing both. Anyway, here's another look at Betts where he fields the ball. I think he's actually a little surprised that Chu tried to go to third. He had plenty of time to make that throw. It looked like he had pretty nice velocity on that throw.
Chopper first base. Hanley Ramirez has only 1 play. 2 gone. See him thinking about it, but Kiner Falefa got a good jump. So now he's out at second base, but there are 2 gone here in the 6th.
Yeah, there's a lot of times coming out of the draft that teams face that. A shortstop who also throws 98 miles an hour. What do you do with that player? The player wants to do both, not sure which he's best at. The team probably favors him one way or the other, and you try to come up with a plan for that. And I just think that maybe Ohtani is going to be an exception. I just think over time it's going to prove exceptionally hard for him to excel both as a hitter and a pitcher.
Gallo takes a good cut at this one. And
there probably haven't been many come around better equipped to do it than he's equipped to do it with his power, his swing, his 98-mile-an-hour fastball, the other pitches that he has. But time's going to tell whether he can excel in both ways, or whether it might be best to concentrate on one.
If you had to bet, do you think that in a couple of years he'll be a pitcher or a hitter, Ohtani?
My guess is that over time he's going to be a pitcher, but that's just a guess.
0-2 on Joey Gallo. Joey.
But I do think over time he's going to be one or the other. I mean, he may prove to be a 40 home run guy. He's so young with that kind of power and that kind of swing. He may prove to be a power hitter. I just don't see him excelling in both.
1-2 to Gallo. Also be interesting to see what kind of strain it puts on the Angels as an organization.
Yeah, sure. I was thinking the same thing as far as the rotation goes and how many pitchers you need and the rest it takes. Yeah, I think that puts a lot of pressure on you. I agree.
I mean, it's already to the point now where the other 29 major league teams, they have a tough enough time managing a 25-man roster and trying to compete with all the elements in the game, as this wild pitch will allow Kiner Falefa to third. You know what I mean? It's like anymore you got such a big bullpen, you only have maybe 3 guys on your bench. One has to be a backup catcher, and so everybody's got to be so flexible. And I mean, it's so stressful now. Every position matters so greatly. And then when you talk about taking a guy like that who, well, we can't pitch him right now, we got to take a couple of days off on the hitting, that's a lot of extra to add.
Yeah,
I'd probably still try it out if he was available.
I'd be interested in the opinion of the Angels and the scouts who have watched him. I've just seen highlights, and see what they think he's better at. Is he better equipped to be a hitter or a pitcher? Maybe it's a tough call. Maybe you can't make that call yet. Maybe it's too early to tell. He's shown such spectacular signs in both regards. And maybe he's better as a hitter because of the risk of an injury to a pitcher.
Well, Gallo takes a big cut at strike 3, and the Rangers can't do anything with a couple of hits in the 6th. So we go to the 7th inning on a beautiful night tonight in Arlington. Rangers with a big lead. Little programming note for you. The next Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Day will be on this homestand, the last day of the homestand, and that is next Wednesday. Rangers in the finale against the Tigers coming out to the ballpark, a 105 day game. And then enjoy ballpark hot dogs for just $1 each. TexasRangers.com for tickets or call 972-RANGERS. All right, Jose Leclerc has come on here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, it's been a nice start to this season for Jose. He's been in 7 games, does not have an earned run average. He's pitched 8 innings. More than a strikeout per inning. Opponents are hitting .045 against him.
Well, he's got the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Boston in the 7th inning. Hanley Ramirez, J.D. Martinez, and Xander Bogaerts. A pretty good little test for a guy. 1-0. That'll even the count. Well, with Leclerc, it's largely about command. And that's true of just about any pitcher. But boy, when he is commanding his stuff, he has been as difficult as just about anybody. Oh, chopper shortstop. Profar with some extra time. Throws out Ramirez, 1 away. And here comes J.D. Martinez. There was a stretch last year, though, where Leclerc was struggling some. And, you know, I'd kind of forgotten about this point last season, Tom. There was a comebacker. He reached for it and went off his finger.
Yeah.
And he spent some time down, even on the disabled list. He came back later. And, you know, down the stretch, there were some points where the command was off. And it's just one of those things that, you know, so many things going on in the season, you tend to forget about those little moments. And I wondered sometimes, like, if maybe that was what caused him some trouble with the command.
Yeah, who knows? I think it's possible for sure.
He's been really sharp so far this year. Goes 2-0 though on J.D. Martinez. Oh, Leclerc taking some time.
After the Tigers traded J.D. Martinez to Arizona, he had nice numbers with the Tigers in about half a year. But when he went to Arizona, played 62 games, a little more than 2 months, and hit 29 home runs. And he was hitting them at an incredible rate. Knocked in 65 runs in 62 games with Arizona. On the season, he ended up hitting 45 and 94 RBIs in 119 games.
Yeah, and he became, you know, one of the real big names in the offseason that a lot of teams, of course, were interested in. Boston identified him early, and most people, or a lot of people, it seemed like, felt like that was the natural fit, and it took a long while for it to come together. Eventually signed a 2-year deal. He's a guy, you know, that you go back when he came up with the Houston Astros, they were going through some tough times and losing a lot of games, 100 games a year kind of thing. And that was sort of the beginning stages of their tear down and rebuild in Houston. He was a guy who came up. Marwin Gonzalez was a guy that they had acquired in the Rule 5 draft. And at the time, they sort of played and looked a little bit like filler guys, right? Maybe not real high ceiling guys, but, you know, you could put them out on the field as you continued your rebuild. And he really blossomed. You know, Marwin Gonzalez blossomed. Jose Altuve came up and became a superstar. Sometimes you just don't know. You bring guys up and you think, well, I don't know if they have a great ceiling. When you find out much later, yeah, they're going to blow right past it.
Well, it's that power side of the sport that's so hard to predict. I don't care who the player is, like, unless it's a guy like Joey Gallo, who immediately, when he's 18 years old, 19 years old, goes to the rookie league as the most valuable player and hits whatever he hit there, 15, 20 home runs, and no one else in the league even has 10. I mean, it's pretty easy to see power then. But for a lot of guys, that power doesn't come that quickly, and tougher to see.
Well, Bogaerts didn't hit that one terrifically well, but just enough to get him on base. Tough play over there at first base for Gallo.
Jose tried to catch that ball behind his back. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa fielded that ball behind second, and with a good throw had time to get Bogaerts at first base.
It looked like Leclerc got a piece of it as it came by him, just deflected it slightly. I don't think it made a huge difference in the play. We're awaiting the scoring decision on that one. Bogaerts is on, and now Devers takes up and away. Two outs. Devers 1 for 3 today. Fouls this one away. I mentioned earlier how young Devers is. He's 21 years old. The previous ball off the bat of Bogaerts, by the way, scored an error, E4. But just 21 years old, and this is a guy who came up and was an immediate smashing success for the Red Sox last year. You talk about his development, less than 360 plate appearances in AA and AAA combined. Sometimes you just know, like you were saying about Joey Gallo, a guy who come out and just mash. There are certain guys who just have that look about them and that ability to bypass a lot of the developmental stages. And Bogaerts, or rather, pardon me, Devers, one of them.
The Rangers had a player who probably started out in the minor leagues a lot like J.D. Martinez and became one of the preeminent power hitters in the game the last 10 years. That's Nelly Cruz. Nelly, for his minor league career, would hit 18 home runs, maybe 20. Showed power, but not enormous power. Then right at the end, hit 37 home runs in a minor league season. Rangers one year didn't protect him for the Rule 5 draft, and no one drafted him.
Hard grounder up the middle. Profar takes it to the bag, and that will end the inning. So Leclerc puts up a 0 in the 7th. They stand at stretch here tonight. Rangers leading 10-3. For just $7 on May 7th, $8 on May 8th. Rangers taking on the Tigers, courtesy of Univision and 105.3 The Fan. This offer is available online only at texasrangers.com/specials using the coupon code PAYTHEDAY. Don't wait to pay the day and see your Rangers in May. All right, here we go. Profar takes a strike. Jurickson, a couple of walks last time, 2 times up, had a triple earlier. A lot of guys involved today in that Rangers box score. Oh, 2 the count. In fact, you saw Renato Nunez was up there with a 0 for 2. Well, he had a sac fly. So even in his case, he's finding a way to chip in there. That's the way it goes when you score 10 runs in a night, 6 of them in 1 inning. One and 2 the count on Profar. Marcus Walden, the 3rd pitcher of the night tonight for Boston, came in to get the final 2 outs of the 5th. It's a guy who, this is his 12th year in pro baseball, and his only taste of the big leagues was in 2014. He was called up by the Toronto Blue Jays from AAA Buffalo in early April. It was like the first week of the season. Did not appear in the game. He was on the roster for 4 days. Got to pay his clubhouse dues and all that good stuff, and then was sent back down, and that was it. And now here, 4 years later, has gotten some opportunity with the Red Sox. In fact, this is his 3rd time up with the team, and he strikes out Profar to start the 7th. 1 away. That would be a long wait, wouldn't it? You get up and you don't get in a game, and then 4 years later before you get another chance. Man.
Yeah, it'll definitely make you wonder whether that chance is going to come or not.
He's pitched well so far tonight. 3 strikeouts. He's allowed a couple of hits. And Renato Nunez takes strike 1. Start today at 3rd base for Nunez. Play a little left field as well. And he's got some pop. He just missed on his sac fly in the 2nd inning. Rangers claimed him off waivers from Oakland this year. He was injured at the end of spring training and had to go to the disabled list. Hamstring strain. And then became available, and the Rangers plucked him away. 1-1. And that is strike 2. And they have done that a little bit in the early part of this year. Nunez, a guy that they have added via the waiver wire, and we already mentioned it earlier today, but roster move today. Carlos Perez, a catcher from the Braves, added off the waiver wire yesterday and with the team today. Chopper shortstop. Bogarts backs up on it, has time, and Hanley Ramirez can't handle it. That one into the camera well and then back out again. And so Nunez will go to 2nd base on the error by Bogarts.
That game has been a mess for the Red Sox. Bogarts is having a very erratic day. He threw the ball on a force out at 2nd base into right field. This time he has to plant his foot, but he's got plenty of time to make this throw, and threw it way low. Didn't really give Ramirez much of a chance to catch that ball. Didn't have a chance for a short hop and a scoop. Bounced so far out in front of him.
That's a 3rd error tonight by Boston, so they have really struggled in this one. This is the front end of a long road trip for them too. Chirinos takes a strike. Robbie 2 for 3. It'll be a 10-game trip on 11 days for Boston. Starting here, and then they're back to New York for the Yankees, and then Toronto. They won't go back home again until May 14th. Chirinos with 6 home runs already this year, so the power numbers have been there. And his 2 hits today are both singles. Those have become kind of rarities for him. He's become kind of like Joey Gallo in that way. Gallo, who has more home runs than he has base hits or singles in his career. Well, Chirinos has been a huge extra base hit guy this year.
Yeah, those extra base hits since April 9th, given an OPS of way over 900.
This might be another one here. A high fly ball deep down the left field line. Back to that wall and high off the fence. Nunez will come in to score. Chirinos just missed the home run. But the RBI double makes it 11-3 Texas.
Now, this ball is hit so high, it's coming straight down. The fact that it hit the wall, appeared to hit the wall, means it didn't miss a home run by much, maybe a foot. Coming right straight down on top of the wall. And since April 9th, not counting today's game because it's probably gone up, Robinson's OPS was 976.
Yeah, it's that is robust. Is now a little chin music to Rua. Well, every Ranger in the lineup today has scored a run. (11-3) our score.
The Red Sox had that huge winning streak and a spectacular start to the season. The Yankees got off to a right around 500 or sub 500 record for a week or two. But they've been hot. The Red Sox haven't been quite as hot. The Rangers hold on and win this game. The Yankees have already come from behind with 3 in the 9th to beat the Astros today. Yankees will only be a game behind the Red Sox. Not that we're scoreboard watching in the beginning of May, but something worth noticing. We were talking a week ago, which team would we take, the Yankees or the Red Sox? That'll probably change from time to time as the year goes on. Right now, it looks like the Yankees.
I've changed my mind. Whatever we said a week and a half ago, I definitely have a much different opinion now.
That's baseball.
Well, Rua had the RBI hit in the 4th inning, 1 for 3. Walden's 2-1. And a little cue shot foul. Well, it's kind of it was an interesting offseason in the American League East. I mentioned earlier how John Farrell lost his job. I think it was like 2 days after they lost that series to the Astros, the division series, got fired.
Yeah.
And so Boston, you know, immediately you got the sense, oh boy, they're not settling. 2 consecutive titles in the East. Now they get Alex Cora, but then what was it, December, when the Yankees got Giancarlo Stanton? Little chopper left side, high hop for Walden, had to wait for it, and his throw just in time. Whoa, very close at first, and Rua asking the dugout to take a little peek at that. He thought maybe he beat it.
Yeah, Ryan runs pretty well. It looked like they might have taken a little too much time to throw this ball. And it also looks like the Rangers are not going to challenge it.
Zone 2 away. A nice play there by Walden. Anyway, so the Yankees pull off that huge trade for Giancarlo Stanton in December. And you knew that would reverberate throughout the rest of that division in baseball, and certainly Boston felt it. And so, you know, they knew they were going to have to go out and answer somehow, especially for the lack of power. The last time the Yankees pulled off a deal of that magnitude, well, that ball well struck out to center, but Bradley is back and he makes the catch, and so that will end the inning. Anyway, we'll go back to 2004 in our Wayback Machine a little bit later. We go to the 8th inning here. Rangers with the 8-run lead. Today in Cleveland, Toronto won the first game 13-11 in 11 innings in Cleveland. And in game 2, Cleveland leading 13-2. Oh boy. That's a game. If Mookie Betts was on one of those teams today, he might get a chance to pitch.
I got to tune into the highlights to hear Tom Hamilton give his home run call. Tom Hamilton is the great radio voice of Cleveland, and if you watch highlights with any regularity, the guy making the spectacular call on almost every Indian home run is Tom Hamilton.
Oh, he is something else, man.
During the playoffs last year, when they were winning, man, that was must-watch TV. Watch those highlights with his voice. Of course, he does radio, not TV, but you can hear his voice on a lot of the highlights.
Well, pop up out into right field, and Mazzara right there to grab it. One away here in the 8th inning. Yeah, well, sometimes when you're in the TV booth next to him, you can hear his calls. He's amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the score is. He's going to give it his best shot, boy.
And you know, the funny thing about it too is like this just his personality. Big Wisconsin guy, and he comes in the back of the booth, you know, hours before the game, opens that door open, and you know in an instant that he's in the room.
Yeah.
And he booms that voice at you, and he's a trip. Fun guy.
I remind him every time I see him in Cleveland of the time 7 or 8 years ago when, for a Sunday day game, instead of breakfast, which he wanted, they served Chinese food, and he walked out of that kitchen screaming, "Oh, blah blah blah, serve Chinese food for breakfast, only in Cleveland."
Yeah. Swihart 0 for 2 with a walk. He was in a foul mood the first day we were in Cleveland over whatever they were serving in the press box that day.
I wish I was there.
So they're going to Milwaukee on their next road trip, little interleague play. And so we were only there for 3 days. But he told every single person he bumped into, you know, now when we get to Milwaukee now, you got to have a brat. And the whole thing about the brats, which is true.
That sounds just like Mark Holtz. That's the way Mark Holtz used to be, too.
Well, that's true. You guys used to go to Milwaukee all the time.
Yeah, and that's when they had at the old stadium. I don't know if the brats were better then than they are now. Who knows? But I know the grill that cooked them was about 100 years old, so it had built-in flavor when they cooked those brats.
A little check swing on that one. No appeal.
You know, when the Rangers first opened this ballpark, Tom Schieffer, with his intricate planning, had brats in the press dining room. Tried to make them exactly like the Milwaukee brat because he liked them so much in Milwaukee, and they were pretty close. Sauce was the same. The problem is the gluttonous members of the media ate them at such a rate that the Rangers were going to go broke trying to feed the media brats. They had to discontinue it after a while.
A fly ball down the left side, out of play. Stays 3-2. Yeah, I get that. You know, in Milwaukee, they still have them there. They're there the whole game, or at least till like 7th or 8th inning.
I've
been rolling back there, and
I remember getting 2 or 3 of them every time I went there, though.
Yeah, that's one of the.
You think they're really that good, or is it just the reputation, and it makes your mind think they're that
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that, little of the euphoria. I'm in the right place for this thing.
Yeah.
Swihart draws the walk. Runner on with 1 out. Hey, a Coca-Cola family pack offers savings of over 50% on tickets, food, kids-own access, souvenir programs, and, well, Coke soft drinks. Family pack is a great way to catch the Rangers when they face the Tigers next Monday through Wednesday. Check it out, TexasRangers.com/specials to get your Coca-Cola family pack today.
I have a Coke with my brat every now and then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Vasquez takes one for a high strike. Now, do you remember when they were in the American League and you'd go to Milwaukee all the time? Day games and the people outside tailgating at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning?
No.
Oh. Yeah. Well, maybe it's a new ballpark. I don't know.
No, I'm sure they did it. I just don't remember.
Vasquez shoots one out into right field for a hit. Swihart stops at second. when they were building the new ballpark, Miller Park there in Milwaukee, they were trying to figure out, evaluating all the options, where to put it. And, a lot of people were campaigning for it to be downtown. A lot of people were saying, no, it's got to be right out here where County Stadium is. And County Stadium area won. I mean, they built it right next to the old ballpark. And the reason that it won and the reason that they went with that was because the tailgating culture was so great and such a big part of the experience. They felt like if they went downtown, you don't have that room. No. You lose that opportunity. Of course, the restaurants and all the businesses downtown really wanted it, but the tailgaters won and they kept it there. And to this day, you go to Milwaukee for a day game, you're on the bus, maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning rolling in, and they're out there, the kegs rolling, the brats going on the grills. It's a blast.
Well, after that decision to reward their loyalty by keeping the stadium there, you would have to think that tradition is going to last for a long, long time.
It is a unique baseball watching experience up there in Milwaukee. All right, so a little visit for Leclerc. Rangers have only used 2 of their mound visits today. 2 men aboard, 1 out here in the 8th inning. Rangers up by 8. And Jackie Bradley Jr. 0 for 3. He takes outside, ball 1. Now Clark pitched the scoreless 7th. Trying to make it through 2 innings here for the Rangers and trying to get a little extra mileage out of relievers these days. Bouncer to the right side, foul. Count 1-1. And there's no question the Rangers bullpen has been taxed a little bit in this early part of the season. Tony Barnett getting ready out there. But doesn't look like a lot of concern. Boys fairly relaxed at the moment. Oh, just missed. 2-1. Talk about overall innings pitched by a bullpen. Well, Rangers 2nd in the American League, only to the Angels, with 116 plus so far. Two and 2. Kirk could use a ground ball here. Wouldn't mind that, certainly. But he'll take the strikeout just the same as 2nd of the night.
A good assortment of a fastball at 95 and an off-speed pitch at 81. A little bit late on the fastball. And a little bit out in front of that changeup.
All right, so 2 down, and here's Mookie Betts. He takes a strike. Another good day today for Betts, although pales in comparison to what he has done recently. Yesterday, a 3-homer game for Betts. 5th round pick in 2011. Holds off, and that one finds inside corner. The count 0-2. So Leclerc out in front here.
would seem to confirm that that 79-mile-an-hour pitch caught the inside corner. 34th pitch for Jose.
Trying to work around a couple of base runners. The 0-2. And that is wide. 1-2 the count. So just one more strike needed to get through 2 innings of relief. This will be the 20th pitch of this inning for Leclerc. Minor went 6, allowed 3 runs on 7 hits. Betts leads the majors in home runs, has 12 of them, including 1 tonight. 1-2 pitch, and he hits this ball hard out to left field. That's going to chase Rua back. It's over his head. Swihart scores. Vasquez to third. They'll wave him. Throw to the plate will be well behind him, and it's a 2-run double by Mookie Betts. He has driven in 4 of the Red Sox 5 runs.
You know, the only category that he's not in the top 2 or 3 in Major League Baseball is RBIs, and that's because he's a leadoff hitter. But today he's had the RBIs. Off-speed pitch, stayed with it. This had some exit velocity. One of those tough balls for an outfielder. The line shot hit directly over your head. It fools you a little bit. You don't have really much time to react to it. The ball jumped off Mookie Betts' bat, which it's been doing pretty regularly in his career with the Red Sox.
And Leclerc unfortunately can't quite complete what he had started here in the 8th. So the Rangers go to the pen. Local GMC dealer today. Well, comfortable lead for the Rangers, 11-5. Mookie Betts, man, I'll tell you what, 4 RBIs today, a home run, a double, a sac fly. Big night for him. Tony Barnett out of the pen now to try and finish off this 8th inning.
Yeah, Tony mixes in a cutter and a 2-seam fastball 77% of the time. Coming back from the disabled list. He pitched on Sunday at Toronto. That was his first appearance since coming off the disabled list.
He's had a kind of a bulky back and shoulder since spring training. About midway through spring training, had a little trouble with the back. Woke up one morning and something was catching, so he had to miss a little time there. And it's been a kind of a rough start that way for him to 2018. 1-0, and that one back up the middle. Wow, that was a rocket. Kiner Falefa stays with it and throws out Ramirez to win the inning. What was that hit? 150 miles an hour?
Probably 115.
Wow. All right, inning done. Nomar Mazara will be due in the bottom of the 8th. Rangers with a season high 11 runs already. I invite you to watch every out-of-market regular season game live, at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Go to MLB.tv for details. A beautiful night here. Shin-Soo Choo leading things off for the Rangers. And meanwhile, Zhu-Wei Lin has taken over at shortstop. And Bogarts is out. Blake Swihart moves behind the plate to give Vasquez a break. And Walden stays in the game. So Walden, he's done a nice job. He's come in here and chewed up some innings for this Red Sox bullpen. Choo hits this ball hard over second base, and that is a single into right field, his second hit of the night. Well, a great start to this series. Game 2 tomorrow, and our Ford game probables. Cy Young Award winner 2016 Rick Porcello has the ball for the Red Sox. Hey, Cy Young Award winner Bartolo Colon, he'll have the ball for the Rangers. Great matchup tomorrow. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Bartolo has become must-watch TV.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to watch it just to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, and it's for everybody. I mean, for us, we get excited days in advance. Yeah. Hey, Bartolo's going to start. He hasn't disappointed. Hard hit ground ball, shortstop. Lin feeds second, and the relay on to first in time for the double play. 6-4-3. And here comes Nomar Mazara. Big night so far tonight for Nomar. A 2-run double in the third and a 3-run bomb in the fourth. There wasn't a participant in the building who had any issue with where that one was going to land.
No, it's been fun to watch him the last, well, his career with the Rangers so far, but the last few days, he's starting to hit home runs on a regular pace. Mentioned that he hit 20 his first 2 years with the Rangers each year. And this year, with a home run tonight, he has 6. And he's on pace to do much more than 20. And he has the potential to be the kind of guy to hit much more than 20 home runs. Still a young, developing player. As good as he's been, there's a lot left in there.
Just recently turned 23 years old, just a couple of weeks ago. And has never really played like or looked his age in terms of the way he handles situations. Always, he's taken the nickname the Big Chill. And I mean, he is just a very cool dude, man. I mean, he never seems flustered. Lately has inflicted a lot of damage on opposing left-handed pitchers as he takes all the way 3-0.
Well, that really was one of the missing ingredients, performance against left-handed pitching, and he seems to be on his way to handling that pretty well for sure.
Walden's 3-1, and that's turned foul. Mazara was swinging for the fences again right there. 101 RBIs last year for Nomar to lead this team. And this year with 22 so far.
And he only had 2 RBIs in his first 16 games this year, so he's on a pretty good pace now. 20 in his last 16 games, counting tonight.
He strikes out here to in the 8th inning. So the Rangers nothing doing in the 8th. We go to the 9th, 3 outs away. Rangers leading by 6.
Ninth loss of the season, 11-5 is their lead as we head into the 9th inning. Dana Larson here along with Jeff Fry and Mike Bassick. We'll have Rangers Live, the post-game show coming up right after the game. Jeff, what's on your mind for the post-game show?
Well, I know the offense had a big night, but I want to give some credit to Mike Minor. He pitched a good game tonight, kept us, giving us a chance. 3 runs against this lineup is outstanding.
Yeah, and we'll really look into that 4th inning. I know Minor gave up 2 runs, but got out of a big situation, and then the Rangers piled on from there.
We will show you all the highlights and get reaction from the clubhouse and the skipper, guys. See you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Dana. Looking forward to that. Rangers leading 11-5. Looking forward to 3 more outs. And it will be the heart of the order in this 9th inning for Boston. J.D. Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, and Rafael Devers. Barnett hangs that leg up there for a moment and then fires it in for a strike. 1-1. Should correct myself. Bogaerts won't be batting this inning at all. Lynn, who came in to play for him last inning, will get his shot, and it's been a struggle for him at the plate. This one runs inside, and the count 2-1. There he is. Zue Lin. Been using him a little bit at second base. Two and 2 the count on J.D. Martinez. Martinez has led this team in RBIs, has 24 of them coming into play today. Barnett got the final out of the 8th. Looking for his first strikeout of the night. Yeah, won't get it on that one. 3 and 2 the count. Only given up 2 hits to right-handers this year. One shot to the right side foul and way out of play. Right-handers 2 for 16 against Barnett so far this season. So he's done a really good job in that regard. Bouncer, shortstop. Nice easy hop for Profar. 1 away. And here comes Lynn. Lynn 0 for his last 22. So I see the guy's in a little bit of a scuffle. Give you a sense for how bad it has been for him. Lin signed in 2012 out of Taiwan and hits this ball sharply to second base, and Kiner Falefa throws him out. They're 2 away.
Well, he's 0 for 23 now, but he hit that ball sharply. Yeah. And when you're 0 for 22, you begin to wonder when the next hit is actually going to happen, especially when you hit one that hard.
And so Barnett 1 out away from putting this one to bed. Rangers with an 11-5 lead. They scored 6 runs in the 4th inning. Mike Minor pitched great. McClurk threw an inning and 2/3, and now Barnett, who's retired the first 3 batters he has faced, needs just 1 more. Devers, though, a dangerous left-handed hitter. He swings and misses the count 0-2. Well, the Red Sox lost the opening game of the season. And then they won 17 of their next 18 games. Took command of the American League East. But lately have looked mortal. They've lost 6 of their last 11, trailing here in the front of a long road trip for them. So this could be interesting times for Boston. Maybe challenged for the first time in the year. The 1-2.
Yeah, when they were playing well early in the year, I remember the series where they went into Anaheim when the Angels were playing pretty well and just swept the Angels in Anaheim. But they have not had a good game tonight. Anything can happen in over 162 games in any one given game. But this has been a sloppy game for the Red Sox tonight.
3 errors to go with some of the other heartache for them. The 1-2 pitch, and that one just off the edge. Well, vocal crowd, 22,348. The announced attendance tonight. This Thursday night. 2-2. And a hard grounder, shortstop. Nice pick by Profar. The throw to first in time. And Devers is done. Barnett comes in and turns back 4 straight hitters to finish this one off, and the Rangers beat Boston 11-5 in the opener. Nice game all the way around.
Yeah, they're facing a tough pitcher in David Price. The offense had an excellent day. Mike Minor had a solid start for the Rangers. Great way to start the homestand against one of the better teams thus far in the season in the American League.
Minor was really good. 6 strong today.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights and see what Mike had to offer tonight. Made some good pitches, good fastball on the outside corner. In the game, he had 4 strikeouts, gave up 3 runs. Mookie Betts had a home run in the game, but that was a big play by Mike. 1st and 3rd and 2 outs to hustle and get Ramirez at first base on that ground ball back to him. And then against Mookie Betts, he made a nice fielding play at first base to beat Betts to the bag. All in all, Mike goes to 3-1 with a solid 6-inning start, quality start to get the win. And the Rangers, more importantly, get off to a great start on this homestand.
Yep, plenty of offense today. Their biggest offensive output of the year. And, of course, the guy right in the heart of all that, Nomar Mazara. He is standing by with Emily.
Nomar Mazara, nice day. Nice to see you guys break out the bats tonight, get an early lead. How have you been clicking, you personally and you guys as an offense?
Not us, the whole team. We're putting a lot of good at-bats together, moving the lineup, you know. We're doing the little things right now. Go out there, don't try to do too much. If they don't throw us, give it to the next hitter. And it's been working for us lately, and hopefully keep moving on to the next games.
For you personally, you feel like you're settling in at the plate?
I feel pretty good, yeah.
I would guess so. 5 RBIs tonight. When you look at this team and the things that it's had to overcome early, how big are wins like this one?
Especially with a team like this, it's huge. Minor went out there and battled. The bullpens did a great job. Osmo keep the dyno moving. And, we got to come back tomorrow and do the same thing.
Talked about this in the pregame show about you guys as young guys, but then now there's younger guys than you, and how important it is for you guys to accept them into the fold, make them feel comfortable at this level.
It's huge. We're like a family here. We got a bunch of guys, young guys, Beltran, all those guys are coming back soon. And, we got to step up. We got to go out there and keep playing hard and, try and find a way to win games.
No more thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. No more vacation.
You're very welcome. Guys, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, thanks, Emily. Nice one tonight. Mike Minor with the great pitching and plenty of offense. Dana Larson, Mike Bassick, and Jeff Fry back in the studio to break it all down for you here in a moment. For Tom Grieve, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. More Rangers baseball right after this.